Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. After another record-setting performance on Wednesday, we're seeing North American stock futures back in positive territory overall this morning, ever so slightly, trying to make it 3 in a row for at least the S&P and the Dow. We saw both the S&P and Dow in record high territory intraday yesterday. The NASDAQ finishing little changed, although we saw some of the big name tech stocks back in positive territory, back in record high territory for a few. We're going to look at Amazon, Apple, Facebook, all with big days again yesterday in that 1 to 3% gains. U.S. President Biden continued to display some of the details when it comes to his $2 trillion infrastructure plan, including corporate tax hike, or a possible corporate tax hike of 28%, although he did say it's negotiable. We'll have a little chat regarding that. Also, EVs set to benefit from that spending bill as well. So a lot of the EV names in positive territory. And Twitter possibly talking about acquiring Clubhouse. Rumors floating around aftermarket yesterday about a $4 billion deal. It's Thursday, April 8th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at North American stock futures. You can see, the NASDAQ leading the way once again, 0.75% to the upside. The Dow and S&P back in positive territory. TSX 0.25% here in Toronto. Brazil Open trading higher with Bitcoin back to the upside this morning. About 1%. Crude oil 0.5% downside. Gold is positive as well. To start things off, it's Thursday, April 8th. Good morning, guys. It is Masters Day. That means a lot of pools are happening in the background today, and may necessarily or not necessarily be happening.
Let's go Sergio Garcia.
As we come on. Yeah, Sean's picking Sergio Garcia this year. I don't know how you feel about that, Sean.
You don't have to worry about that one. My first pick was Justin Thomas. Neil, what was your first pick?
That was a great pick. I took Rahm, and Forerunner. I apologize. I got like one guy from your list, and it was Morikawa there. So I asked in the chat. I'm like, I know nothing. Give me a name, and I got 1 of 4 in our little draft there. So it is what it is. I'm not the most knowledgeable guy about golf, but I did come very close to winning last time. So
yeah, it's. Go ahead. No, I was just going to say it's a big Masters opportunity today. I hope all of you guys like golf. But if you come to my screen quickly here, the NASDAQ is already starting to take off here, up 0.89, Brendan. So, the big guys continue to lead. It was a big day yesterday. We had a great afternoon show. Thank you to Arun again. But the team is back right now, and we have Raheem coming through as well. This is going to be a big day once again, so thank you, everybody, for joining. And 20 degrees is supposed to be today in lovely, sunny Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
A little bit of spring fever possibly floating around, even though we can't do anything because we are locked down. Again, unfortunately, we'll talk about some AstraZeneca news, some vaccine-related stocks moving around here in the pre-market as well. Before we get too far ahead of things, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss B.
Good morning, Brendan, and hi, traders. I wish you a beautiful day and full of profits. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. Weekly jobless claims just out there. An increase of 16,000 to 744,000 versus 694,000 expected. So a little bit worse off there. For the weekly jobless claims number. Hasn't really moved the market over the past couple of weeks, but interesting number again, an increase there of about 16,000 on that weekly jobless claims number. Let's talk about vaccine names to kick things off here. Interesting story from Germany regarding the AstraZeneca vaccine. Once again, we learned yesterday that some officials in the UK have been able to tie some blood clotting issues to the AstraZeneca vaccine. Germany came out this morning and said anyone who has had the first dose of AstraZeneca should now switch to one of the mRNA vaccines, which is going to be Pfizer or Moderna. Guys, what do we think about this?
I honestly, I'm not sure what to think about this. I mean, AstraZeneca is going to be up on this, and we're up at like $50 here. My first thought was, Okay, I mean, should I not be like selling through like 49.80? Just looking at the 15-minute chart, this is like April, the beginning of April, a couple of days, and then a bit of a rollover. You gap up into it and take a breakdown like that, maybe like give it to like 50, even just as a trade, it makes some sense. But here we're up 3% on this news. I mean, we get this back and forth over and over again, and it feels like usually you'd be fading the good news, so I guess we're buying whatever this means for AstraZeneca. The only play I can make here is to see if I can't short off of that 50, and then see if it's going to be weak news. I look at this chart, and it would be one of those sort of retracement plays anyways off of this level, and you do have some cover up here to 50.20, and that's what's going to end up standing out here for me today, like trying to decipher what this is going to end up meaning like long term. Did it even move the needle for Pfizer? Or I don't really think so. I just have to only think about shorting it today. I find it hard to buy into something like this in AstraZeneca news. And the other thing on top of that is, when we talk about the vaccine space in terms of whether or not there's going to be a trade, invest in the things that have a bigger pipeline and then trade the things that are moving. And that's going to be EV and tech today. With maybe a little bit of a couple of crypto names and some small caps. So it does give you that one look. I'm kind of thinking about it. It's right here, right now, and it's a small risk to reward type of trade to take that 80. So that's the only thing I'll be doing here in AstraZeneca, if anything at all, guys.
Yeah, I don't really know what to think about a lot of this stuff that is coming through. You have Moderna, mRNA. We'll call that one up. I mean, whatever you feel about the vaccines, obviously everybody wants to be safe, and it's an interesting recommendation. So, I mean, we'll wait to see. I don't know. There's still, the denominator in these studies is still so huge compared to, the blood clotting and things like that. But if it's better to be safe than sorry, I'm guessing. So we'll look to see here. We'll look to see what Moderna is doing. But, I mean, you have 135 top. We'll look to take that out. And then you do have a 131 bottom. So, yesterday took off the open, and then you had that slide. Other than that, not much happening. So we'll look at Moderna. And then we always like Pfizer. I think Pfizer is one of the better ones, one of the better names just to hold rather than to trade. But if you're using bigger size, this can be profitable. Again, moves off the open, so we can look for that. A base back down. You based yesterday 35.75, so we're not too far away from there if the market does pull back down. We started the show celebrating the NASDAQ. Now we're coming down a little bit. So I think if you get a pullback into Pfizer 35.75, that's probably worth buying. Yesterday's low there. I mean, there's no negative news, so there's no reason for it to break that.
All right, let's go to NFT land. We mentioned Rahim Alani from OCI Groups here in Toronto. Going to come through in about 5 minutes here. We'll talk about some opportunities possibly related to the NFT market. Speaking of, HOFV, higher again today here, guys, in the pre-market. They announced their first NFT offering. We talked about them teaming up with one of the other ones. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but breaking through 5 here. We're already seeing an 11% pop here for HOFV, guys.
Yeah, on their march back to the upside, and I don't know, the NFTs are going to these are all giving me a chance to hate on Tom Brady because he's doing his own thing as well. And by hate on Tom Brady, the guy is the GOAT. It is what it is. I don't like him. He's getting involved in the space. It was a little bit of a consolidation for HOFV, and I actually thought that as it was coming down, it would probably test a little closer to 350. So holding up a lot nicer than I would have anticipated. As we go into like the 15-minute time frame. It already had one reversal, and you'll kind of see this like sort of muted level a couple of days ago off this like 515. I think it's got some spike plays into it like 540. My concern would be if you look at these moves, 930 push up into a sell. You try to bounce just off 930 a couple of sessions ago before sort of dumping there, and you can go back a session before. He's had an affinity to basically like dump after that initial push at 930. So that might not be what happens today, but that's going to be like the first look I'll be watching for, and it's going to be around that 550 mark. So you push into that 550. I'd be looking for that quick reversal on Hall of Fame, just because it's shown us that pattern in the past. I think it's probably going to find some support down at 465 for sure. So I don't know that from here, for fade play, if I was looking at a 5 short, I wouldn't be taking more than like 25 pennies on that trade. I'd much rather short in the 550 range on a pop. And quite frankly, I don't usually do this, but I'd be looking to buy a bit of a dip here because I think you got some cover in that chop zone, that 450 to 465 chop zone. I think it's going to actually give you some support in this formation. So if it does a dump into that price, I'll look for a little level off and maybe even take a long in one of these bad boys.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the other day, muds. So they're going with the tops baseball card there, a SPAC turning over. And you see what happened there, just a boost rate to the top side. But then look at this, like we got as high as 1250, and then we've fallen right back into 1080, 11 area. So, you know, just be very, very careful. You saw DL, I mean, there's so many. We saw Dolphin yesterday go crazy in the afternoon. Look at this, when the chart loads up, there it goes. You know, up, I mean, this is that crazy move. This is when we were talking about shorting it. And then we go down to 11 and make a base around 12. Then yesterday, bust out to 1450. So I think there's a lot of stocks on watch today, including, oh, it didn't change that chart. I was going to hopefully show you guys Dolphin. Yeah, we are breaking out. So I actually, because this name's already gone, I like this through 1450. But again, I don't want to take it in the pre-market. I'd rather settle down and get some real liquidity into this thing before we go crazy. But yeah, NFT is all the rage. The man Raheem has sent us a couple articles about this. This is everyone's talking about it. I think it's going to be a very popular move in the next couple months, but I wouldn't get too carried away. I'm in that Top Shot, which is the NBA, and I actually just sold a DeAndre Ayton card, and I think I made $2. So I was pretty proud of that. So that's my venture into NFT land. I just want to get a pack. I want to get that rare LeBron. You know what I'm saying?
That DLPN, the HOFV tie-in as well. So they teamed up. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. They launched their first offering, guys. That was the pop yesterday for both of those. A little bit of cannabis news this morning. Sean, you know this one, I think. Supreme Cannabis getting taken out by Canopy Growth for $323 million.
Hello. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know anything, but that's fire. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't, I'm not invested in that one. Of course, none of the ones that I'm invested in, of course, can get bought out, but that's fine. Yeah, look, CGC, we can talk about that. I didn't even know you're going to throw to this. CGC here on the NASDAQ continues to make moves. We're only down only up 47,000 shares today, so a little bit of a lower place to trade. Nice move. You've seen CGC off the top. I mean, big move here in that craziness that was Wall Street bets and overhyped opportunities. But now we're right back in, and this is what I'm telling people right now. If you like the potential for federal legalization, you know, and you do feel that you have a little bit of a longer time frame for your trading and for your expectations, I like CGC here. So, I mean, this is one of the biggest names in the cannabis sector. Remember, they have Constellation behind them. So Constellation's already dropped a couple $1 billion into Canopy. So, I mean, if the big guys are here, they know what they're doing as far as marketing is concerned. And we'll find out if there's anything in the beverage business. I think that's one that can take off. And then even yesterday, Neil, we had that plant company on, and he was talking all about plant-based pet foods. And I know, and look, joke or not, marijuana is actually a thing for pets as well. So
even I know that.
Well, no, because we've heard about it all. Yeah, and so CGC also in there as well. So Martha Stewart. I mean, there's lots. I don't know. It's either you believe in the industry or you don't. And if you do, then I'd put my money with Canopy.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is, look, you guys are going to see, I already have like 99 short Sundial. I took my shot at Sundial yesterday. You would have seen. I got very, very greedy. I'll go over that trade before because, you know, when it dropped like 2% from that dollar break, like I should have done a heck of a lot better, but I got really greedy trying to hold on for a bigger move, certainly. But one thing to keep in mind is Sundial is like 8 to 9 times as expensive, relatively speaking, as like a CGC. And that's the reason why I'm always fading this particular name. And I think people talk about best of breed, right? So I short strength into this move, which is interesting because there's actually absolutely nothing going on here when it comes to this name. It's basically flat. It's popped that $1 finally. It's rounding off, and the day that it flushed, I just want to be involved. So I'm going to be in some consolidation here with some tight stops in this name, and any long breaks would have to be over in Canopy. I would agree with Sean on that particular take. And as a day trade, you guys are probably going to like that one a little bit better. If you're not spread trading, Sundial's probably not for you in these ranges, but if it does, maybe flush past 95. This thing could go right back to 80s.
All right, guys, let's bring in Raheem Alani from OCI Groups joining us once again as scheduled now, which is nice to see. Back in studio, good to see you once again. We're going to talk a little bit of NFT. It's been all the rage, as we've been discussing, when it comes to the sector itself. What do we attribute, first off, as a kind of bigger picture idea here? What do we attribute this to? Just interest?
I think it's interest. I think it's, people do relate it back to the novelty of the hockey card back when all of us were kids and had hockey cards and how much those are worth now. And now in the digital world, people are saying the same theory, right? Is you had a hockey card that's got a storage of value. Going forward in the future, these NFTs are the place of storage of value.
And we see the newest one this week, obviously Topps, the sports card maker going public through Murdoch Muds down in the US. So that's kind of the latest. Want to join the group. We're going to give you a few names on the Canadian side of things that are worth keeping an eye on as far as opportunities may go when it comes to this sector. So let's jump in right now. You were just telling me before we came on here, this Voyager monster move over the past 12 months.
Yeah, if you look at the chart on Voyager Digital, they're up in the $30, $35 range. A year ago, if you had the foresight, it was at 20 cents, so you would have made some good money on that. Even if you had the foresight in January, it was at $5. Taking advantage of the fact that people are moving into crypto. It's a crypto asset manager. They've got results that they just announced, 2.4 billion AUM, 1 million users. So, numbers don't lie in the fact that the stock's moved in that direction, 30, $35 in the last couple of days.
Legitimate. Let's move on to the second one here, BIGG. Again, these are all going to be Canadian names, guys, but smaller. That one a little bit bigger, but the rest are going to be a little bit smaller on the market cap size, but worth keeping an eye on in this overall general space. Talk about BIGG.
Yeah, and all the ones that we're looking at are dual listed as well. So there is the OTC opportunity on that. BIGG, same thing. They've got a blockchain intelligence subsidiary and one called Netcoins, and they want to make sure that they're involved in the tracking and the regulatory side of the crypto transactions. So same thing, taking advantage of the momentum that's going into cryptos and NFTs. You look at their chart, 55 cents in January, and they're sitting at 330 right now. So it's been a good move.
Huge move up. Yeah, that's impressive. That's a daily chart, guys, on that BIGG. Wow. IMIN, the next one. This one going to be on the venture. So those two on the CSE, the Canadian Securities Exchange. This one on the venture.
Yeah, IMIN went public a couple of weeks back, or had some good news a couple of weeks back. They're involved in Ether 2.0 staking. So they're the first ones that we've done in our research that are involved in the Ether 2.0 staking side. So you see a big move right at the beginning. Right. It's come down off a bit, obviously, as people get their shares, start to sell off a bit because it's a new name. I think that it'll start to find its level. Ether, as I'm sure you guys have talked about, had a huge run up to 2,500 now in the last couple of days. Yeah, so the fact that they're in Ether 2.0 staking was a reason that it stood out to us. They're the first ones that we saw that are doing that, and I'm sure that they're going to try and take advantage of that news and that flow to see what happens with the stock here.
So worth keeping an eye on opportunities in general. You can look at the asset itself, or maybe some of these smaller companies that are tied to it. Right. The next one here, another one listed on the Venture Exchange here in Toronto, TechX, so TECX. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, that was one that caught our attention just as we were doing some homework for the segment. And it's a new name. We don't know much about it. But if you look at the chart the last couple of days, taking advantage of this crypto momentum, they're in crypto, they're in blockchain, they're in AI, all the right keywords. So they've definitely got all of that. They've got a stablecoin platform, and they've got a couple other avenues that they're looking to generate revenue off of. And the fact that the stock's moved up nicely here in the last 2 days sort of tells you that there might be something happening there. And again, taking advantage of the crypto space.
Let's jump down, just to wrap things up here, let's jump down to one we actually had on the show very recently, Liquid, which is LQID, again, listed here in Toronto.
Yeah, so Liquid's got a couple of different platforms as well. They've got their verification piece, which is super important to them, and then the NFT space. So they've signed a joint venture with another Canadian listed company, and they're getting involved in the artistry side of the NFTs. And if you take a look at the company, take a look at the news, they've had a few news releases around what they're doing on the digital side on the NFTs. I think there's going to be some more noise to come on the NFT space, as we've all talked about. I think I have to buy Sean a LeBron NFT for his birthday.
He's still looking for that one. Yeah.
I'll talk to the guys at Liquid and see if we can get something for him. But that's one that's got some direct association onto the NFT side.
This is more the side of things that I think is going to be, the bigger opportunity, possibly the artistic side in the music industry. I think is just a, huge, massive opportunity.
Yeah, no, I heard you guys talking about Tom Brady just launched with Autograph. The Weeknd said he's going to put out music. he's going to have a single release
Yeah.
on the NFT side as well.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a way that they can kind of take even a little bit of control back, you know, as far as the rights go, it's huge.
Yeah, even the Dallas Mavericks said they're going to start issuing their tickets as NFTs so that you can get some revenue off of the ticket after it's a ticket.
Great stuff. Rahim Alani, OCI Group's always a pleasure. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks.
For sure.
There we go, guys. A look at NFT world, some opportunities. Again, keep those names kind of in your back pocket maybe going forward as far as opportunities in that space. I mean, we talked about that Hall of Fame, guys, with Dolphin a little bit earlier. As a group, though, this NFT kind of group now seems to be expanding on a daily basis.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like that's what we're talking about. I mean, Tom Brady autograph, and everyone's getting their feet into the waters. And I think Sean mentioned Dolphin. We try to look. We're going to try to stick to the names that we're comfortable trading. It's not going to be dissimilar from, you know, when you're in the EV space, and we're going to get to some of the EVs as well. And there's about 1 million places to go, especially on a day like today, where there's the entire group looking up like 1 or 2% over in the EVs, and you're going to have a lot of secondary moves here happening in the NFT space. Go to the ones that make the most sense to you. That's why I jumped over to Hall of Fame. I think that's why it's going to be worth looking at Dolphin here, because you want that level of comfort. You know what some of the levels look like. You're comfortable what the spread is, so you can judge the risk on your trades. A lot of times when you're jumping into a stock that you haven't traded before, just make sure that you have a concept of how you want to approach it, or a level of familiarity with the setup, despite the fact that you might be doing something a little bit new. You know, a lot of these names might not have the volume that you're accustomed to. Just looking at Dolphin here, it's only done a couple 100,000 shares in volume, and look at this spread at 20 pennies, right? So that can be deceiving. And if you're only ever looking at a chart and then the price, you might be accustomed to a little bit more of a connected spread here, but you're not going to see that in every single one of these names. I like Hall of Fame for that reason. It's usually pretty liquid. I think it's going to be a solid trade for me today, and especially if I can get that little dip buy that I was looking for, Brendan.
We'll have a look at upgrades and downgrades for today. Some interesting names on here once again. This Car Gurus, I sat down this morning and noticed it was up more than 3%. Not a lot of volume, but catching a Raymond James upgrade. Goldman Sachs liking Textron this morning to the upside. F5 on that one. NXP, Morgan Stanley with price target decrease on that one. And Unilever, one that has been pretty strong over the past week on the downgrade side, guys.
Yeah, not much there really to move the needle as far as I can see. I'm already in. You can see at the bottom there, I only have one position. Is that the right price? Oh, yeah, it's 80 and change, so round it up to 81. Yeah, Apple's already taken out its 50-period moving average, and we love that. Just took it out there at 126. Like I said, I'm not even sure it's correct, so that's not, I'll get back to that, what the real 50-period moving average is. But because we don't have the reverse split. Okay, so right here, 126. Basically, the key for me is that we're just getting through some of these areas here. We've broken out on Apple, so we're going to try to look long. You see the NASDAQ up today. So we've done a little bit of dancing here on Apple. We did take it near 129 to start the show. Then we just got a 128.50. So now we're going to average into this one. And then I really, like yesterday's close, 128-ish. I mean, where did we close exactly? Let's give it right about here. So nice. Yeah, let's call 128. So I'm going to give it back down to 128 and then even a little bit lower, like a 127 or so. I don't see any negative news hitting the wires right now. We did get some good words from President Biden yesterday about the EV space. We'll get to that. That's on our list. Apple looking to get into the EV space. Apple's gotten some nice words from various institutions lately as well. And it needs to play catch up, right? I mean, you look at Apple, it's still down here. Look at Facebook's daily chart, right? Facebook's daily chart taking off. And I've put more money into Facebook recently down in this area, like right at this 50-period moving average, 272 or so was my last buy. This is breaking out. It's taking out all-time highs. Facebook, Microsoft, all-time highs. Wow, 250, 250 today. Yes, sir. That's breaking out. So the only one, and then you have Amazon is also a lagger in all of this as well. If we call up Amazon, you can check that out as well. There's a big possibility for Amazon to run into earnings. Oh no, we have this big wick. But the point is that it's not taking out all-time highs. Like Amazon, I mean, FYI charting, this didn't go to 6,200, but Amazon still needs work to go to 3550 right there. So, I think Amazon has play catch up. So does Apple. But, I mean, look at the other guys, man. You're getting all-time highs for Facebook and Microsoft and a few of those other big tech names, including the biggest and the baddest. Google also at all-time highs. So I like Apple, and I think we got to stick with some big big tech cap names guys here today.
Guys, I feel it was like earlier in the week. Maybe it was actually last week that we might have had this discussion about that 128 level, and we finally breached it. That's the level. That's what like a position defend I think would be the best way to put it. So I like longs around the 128, kind of like with you, Sean. Like you have to give this some room. I look back to mid-March. 127.30, you get that little top in there. I like that to be a bit of a possible bottom here, and I'm going to kind of condense my daily chart so you don't get any of those crazy wicks, but I do have a bid in front of 128. I think you give that move all the way down to that 127.32, so that quarter range. You said 250, and you meant Microsoft, but I just want to point out before we get too far down the line here, there's another stock approaching 250, and it's going to be Square. A bit of a double top in yesterday's action. You saw it flush off. It kind of almost got there at that 250 mark before a bit of a pullback, and you're right here. So double top yesterday, rounding into that same level here again today. I'm going to look to see if Square can take the top off today at that 250 level.
All right, guys, we're going to jump into the watch list. Before we do that, though, make sure if you haven't yet to come back this afternoon, join us at 3:15. We had a great time again yesterday, taking you through to the close. It is, as Sean said yesterday, the fastest 45 minutes on YouTube. It's a bit of a sprint towards the close every single day, but we like to guide you through it and help you, let you know what's going on as we end off the trading session every single day. Make sure you come back and join us right here at 3:15 again this afternoon. Let's get into the watch list. If you haven't done so already, ask Miss V. Very, very nice. She'll help you out with the link if you need it. Register for the watch list with any email you'd like. We send it out every single morning before we come on. We mentioned Twitter yesterday, guys. Came out, I guess it was midday. They said they were going to invest or look for some ways to monetize their Audio Spaces app. And then after market yesterday, there were reports from Bloomberg suggesting that the company has had unsuccessful discussions with Clubhouse about a possible $4 billion deal.
Yeah. So yesterday, I mean, big news. We talked about this. This came out actually on the after show, in our afternoon show. And I started trading Twitter, and it was a good trade. We were looking at the long here through 69. It did bounce off to 68. We did go long, protecting 69, lost it. Held this 68.50, went long again, and then basically just made our money back as it didn't want to break 69 for us. Those of you guys watching that saw, and we wound up getting out in the 80s. I think it was 79 right here, on this breakdown. And then all of a sudden, right in the afternoon, right as soon as the bell rang, basically, Twitter dropped knowledge that, maybe they would just buy Clubhouse for $4 billion. And that went all the way to the moon there, 72. This actually happened. So someone just, maybe the algos thought that Twitter was being bought out or something, but that just went right upside and then it came right back down. So right now, whether or not they do it themselves to create more revenue or go after Clubhouse, which is revenue generating, then I just think it's a good step for Twitter. So we'll look at this 70 level. I mean, to me, it's kind of a no-brainer. We're right here. It's trying to break out. Realistically, it's kind of like 70.50 here is really the level of concern. We did tick as high as 70.80, and then even on this day, big candle day here, up to 72 and then back down to 68. So we know Twitter can move, and especially around this area. This is a pretty important one. We've had a beautiful bounce off the 50 period, man. It's just riding it. Like, look at this thing, riding it again. So if you're looking for an investment, I think Twitter can probably be had here. I mean, it's high. I don't know if this is the right time to buy, but you do have protection, and I feel like this 50 period will probably hold, and then worst case scenario, 61.50. So you have about a 10% downside with what I believe, if they get it correct, more upside to go. We talked about some of those. It's friends, the big cap tech there, taking out highs. I don't know if Twitter gets there yet. They're not really in the same ballpark as those other guys, but Twitter is exciting to me, as well as Snapchat.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Snapchat there, because that's exactly the kind of move that Snapchat kind of needs to be able to make to better monetize some of those users. And I think it's a good step for Twitter. I think that's why the market reacted that way, even though it was an expensive purchase. I mean, either way, you saw what the algos did to it. we don't know whether this is going to happen or what the timeline might be for. As Sean pointed out, look, you had that 70 level, you had that area of concern on the daily chart, 70, 50, 71s. There were some spikes up into that range before. So you might actually see a bit of consolidation in Twitter off those levels. I do feel like if a breakout at 70, can immediately start at least testing through 50 to 71 even, that's going to be not one that I would want to dig into. So like I had written down here like the 70 to 70, 25 area. So I want to make sure that we're actually holding above that and actually breaking through that 70 before I actually like this one. And then look for it, if there's even a pullback, look for it a little bit later on for a secondary test. So I like I said, I like that square. I'm probably going to look for that one at that 250 area. Managing too many breakouts, especially if they could happen at 9:30, can be a little bit perilous. So we try to avoid that on some of the fast-moving stocks. If we do get a dump, I mean, you have to. It sounds like a sore thumb. I think it's unlikely we get there, but you got to look at this like 67.50 to 68 area. Looks pretty darn good to me. You got a good of a pullback bounce, and it was previous resistance a couple of days in a row. So I'm gonna like that if it gets really hairy in Twitter, but I'll stay away from it until we get like a clean break through that 70 quarter.
All right, let's get a look at the overall market here. We'll bring Arun in and check out the futures this morning to see what we need to be aware of. Not a huge move yesterday overall as far as the range is concerned. Arun, it was positive, but what are we looking at today?
Well, in terms of the last few days, it's been pretty sideways. We've been stuck between that 75 going down to 60. There's been a tight range. There's been buyers below 60, sellers above 70 going into 75. And we had set 80, so 49 or 40. 80 as a top end stop. Now we've gotten above 40.80. So this kind of changes the game a little bit, because now what you're doing is you're looking at support from the previous resistance. So that 40.70 area, that 40.75 area, that should act as support. So what I'm going to do is we're sitting at 40.81 right now. If we can get underneath 80, I'm very curious to see how much of that previous selling is going to actually act as support. So if we can find some buying, find some sort of setup, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want to verify that that buying is still there, because when we get this close to 4,100, it also sometimes the market tends to do is also just kind of run like a trap, kind of breakout, fake breakout back to the downside, sell off for a bit, and then we'll come back to 4,100. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to get caught in that. So what I want to see, any sort of buying below 40.80, and that verifies the previous resistance for me. I'll take a shot on that going down to 40.65. So that's the only level I've got, 40.65. If we can find some support in front of it, I think the buys are in play. And it's crazy to see that, we're only 20 points away from 4,100 when just last week we were very close to 44,000, and here we are 100 points in less than 5 days, 5 trading days, which is very impressive. So, this is the kind of market we're dealing with now. So it is fast when it decides to go. So again, 40.80, looking for support. If we can get it, we're looking at that 4,100 as a potential next target.
Exactly what I was thinking. I was sitting here thinking, didn't we just talk about 4,000 last week? But yeah, it's amazing. What a move, what strength in this overall market. Thank you, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning, under 30 minutes, guys. Before we get the market open for the day, we'll continue along having a look at the watch list. The next group on the watch list is going to be the EV stocks. We learn more about President Biden's $2 trillion infrastructure spending bill yesterday, which included $174 billion of a proposal to boost EVs, both on the charging station side and also on the incentive side. There isn't one or two of these that are really standing out this morning, but the entire group looking positive.
Yeah, that's the thing, I think. Yeah, I mean, we could trade, and there's a couple different, ICLN was that clean ETF there. There's Drive. There's a bunch of different ETFs that you can look at. I'm just going to talk about NEO. Yeah, I see Ride. I mean, I'm seeing everything on the chat here. What's up to Corey Ring saying Ride there, Lordstown. Look, I'm going to talk about NEO just because it's one of the more popular ones on the chat, and it's been a real rough ride. What is going on? I mean, why is my chart not loading back today? Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to clear the cache after I do this, and then hopefully the next couple ones we'll have it. I thought Apple was a mistake, but maybe it's just everything not going back to January. All right, more on NEO. NEO's just been a hard ride right now, all the way to the downside. Even on a NASDAQ up day, NEO seems to not be able to get going. I still really would love for this thing to come in one day and it's above 40, and then we can just, understand that that's going to be the level and that we've built it down. You know what? I can't do this on this chart. Hold on a second. I'm just going to give you guys a different one. So here we go. Here's another platform here. So this is what I'm talking about. I really, I'm sort of hoping that this is, just a blip, that we have some consolidation down here. The 200 period moving average is right here at 35.36. So if that can hold down there, then I do think that we can get back to $60. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this company other than the fact that, they are a Chinese based. So you are always going to have to deal with some of the, bias towards those companies. You do have the governments going back and forth. Hopefully Joe Biden can sort of come up with some kind of an agreement. I know Donald Trump really didn't have too much of a friendly trade relationship with China, if any at all. I was really hoping, you guys know the love I had for Alibaba. I'm still in that name and just about flat. That name's not taking off, and neither is Neo. There's a whole bunch of these names, Baidu, Pinduo, Duo, and whatnot. But as far as electric vehicles, and as far as I'm concerned, Neo's still selling thousands and thousands of vehicles per quarter, which we need to get that number up. But I think it can hold. And then if you're looking at a trade today, you're already up 1%, right? The NASDAQ's up 0.8. To me, let's just see if it can hold yesterday's close. So I'm going to be going long into this area, 37, 37.25. And then if you zoom back out a little bit, yesterday's very bottom is almost right at the close. So it's 36. Big drop yesterday, was not expecting that. Right down to $36. I didn't even trade it yesterday. We're going to see if it can hold 37. 37 breaks, man, floodgates. And unfortunately, I know everyone's long this name, but if you have puts on it and you get a 37 break, I think you probably go to 35 in the next couple of days.
Yeah, an even weaker name is Li Auto. And I think you contrast the daily chart because when Li Auto made that bottom, it actually broke 20. You're well below some of these, you're well into the range of some of those late year prices in October. And I know by the end of the year, it started to make its run up here. But it's a very, very similar look, and I think it doesn't matter too much which of these names you pick. But look, we had this bottom of 21.50. It's now put in this higher low of 22. It's on my 15-minute chart here. And it just tried this little sort of premature breakout here. You had this afternoon resistance point around 23. It just tried to press through that. So it looks like, at least for the time being, Lee's going to maybe test this area for a dip. And if we can hold, it's yesterday's low. And it's going to be this 22 even. If it can hold that 22, it's a very, very similar playbook. Just Li Auto is a little bit closer to, if you go all the way back into the last quarter, that 22 is a little bit closer to some of that consolidation that it had before actually ramping up. And that's the reason I'm going to like this dip buy in Li Auto. Don't always trade this name, but it kind of stuck out to me a little bit here. So let's see if we can't get some buy action down around that low 22 and defend yesterday's, not yesterday's close, a little bit lower, yesterday's bottom.
Yeah, worth noting on Li Auto as well, guys. They did price their offering that we talked about yesterday this morning, but it didn't seem to affect the overall price of the stock one bit. We'll go to the big tech names. As we mentioned, very, very strong yesterday. 1 to 3% gains right across the board. As we saw, Sean was showing a number of them at all-time highs. The one that isn't, Apple, higher again here in the pre-market. Cohen out this morning with a positive note on their Apple News product, which they're saying is going to account for $2.2 billion in revenue by 2023.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. We're going to wait until Trader TV Live is presented on Apple TV, so we'll wait for that one to happen, and then we'll go live, and then we'll really start buying some Apple stock. 129 looks like it's going to break right now. We're already long. My average price is 128.80 right now, so I'm pretty happy with that. As we're now in the money, I don't know, 20 pennies. We'll wait to see. I still think we break out this 129, and the rhetoric remains the same. We keep talking about it. I'm going to do it again here. I'll call up the daily chart, and it hasn't broken out. That's all. Apple's right down here, and you can see what it's trying to do right now. There's the real 50-period moving average. It is busted through now. We have 128.50 next on board. We've passed that. That's 128.50 right here. Maybe I can make this bigger for you guys. So I don't know. I don't see any. I was pounding the pavement again on all of these tech stocks. I chose Facebook. I did buy some Apple, but way more Facebook than anything else. You can see this is starting to break out now, 128.50. So we're already above that. Next level to me is this 130.50 area where you had some consolidation. And then, I don't know. It depends what kind of a big day this is today, but if this gets going, I mean, we could get to 132 tomorrow, I think. It's only 129 now. We could get there today, and then the next level after that, 136 to 137, and you're going to be coming in next week, and we're going to be talking about it taking out the top. And I just relate it back to Facebook again. I mean, I know Apple and Facebook, they're not the same company, they're not even close. But it's all in that same mentality where everyone's trying to put their money into the big tech companies, and Apple's is coming, man. Apple's the only one with a dividend, right? I mean, Microsoft has a dividend as well, and so does Google. But Apple's been paying people off for a very, very long time, and here we go. Facebook taking out tops. I just think Apple's next. That's why I'm long, and I have more bids to get longer.
Yeah, I think, and I'm going to go back to Amazon because I know we wanted to show that chart. It's just a little bit of a better look here. Cleaned this one up so you guys can see. It's been sleepy as well, but starting to wake up a little bit. You know, cracking through 3150, 3500. Of course, that massive level, which is upcoming. You do have some room to get to that range. I think it's pretty likely before. Some people are talking about that this could be a short-lived, tech boom or whatever you want to call it. But Amazon's a bit of a versatile play, and you're in this one for the long term anyway. So I think in the interim, you're probably looking at a little bit of a test, at least close to that 3,500 level before you get any kind of a pullback. I think if we get anywhere near, and it rears its head again anywhere around that 3,100, that 3,000. I think we said it before last consolidation. It's just one of those things you want to have. You use it all the time. I know you guys use Amazon all the time, and it's a very versatile name here, guys. It's not going to give you. I don't think it necessarily gives you the same look as Apple in terms of safety for the long term, but either way, it might be a longer time horizon for its breakouts. But a name you want to put in that toolbox. And when the 3,500 comes, maybe it's a little bit later on in the year. You're going to want to make sure you have that break. But want you guys to see that clean chart where you are getting what has been. It hasn't been a year in this price range for Amazon, but it has been quite some time. It's getting very close to it. And let 3,500, the longer we stand in here, going to be an interesting breakout there.
We're going to get to GameStop next here, but there was a headline that just came out there, guys, on Beyond Meat. Not a huge move, but up about 2% in the pre-market. It's just an expansion in the U.S. into multiple national and regional grocery chains, as many as 5,000. So heads up on Beyond Meat, just popping up there in the pre-market. GameStop, though, coming out announcing, I think, what everyone was expecting going back a month or so ago when they announced that Ryan Cohen, Chewy founder Ryan Cohen, was joining the board. They're now going to make him chairman of said board at GameStop, guys.
Yeah, Ryan Cohen, Chewy. We love Chewy. We love everything to do with Chewy. I just want to talk about Beyond Meat quick, and then I'll throw GameStop over to Neil. Beyond Meat, again, I just think that this is, if you have a little bit of a longer time frame here and you can average in if this goes lower, I really, really like Beyond Meat here because I think this 120 holds, and it's only at 133 right now. And this news comes out, that's, what was it, Wegmans, Kroger, Sprouts, Target. They've recently made a deal with Walmart, so I think that's something that's exciting as well. So yeah, look, I'm super, super excited. Thank you, Mr. Gregory. I'm super excited for the potential in Beyond Meat, and I'm debating picking some up now at these price levels. That wasn't a huge story, though. Today, it doesn't seem like it's moving the needle, but 133.60. Let's just back this out just a little bit to yesterday, just to see. We did have some consolidation here, 135. So Beyond Meat on a 135.50 breakout is maybe something, but I just wanted to do that, talk about Beyond Meat there quickly, Neil, because I think that they're a game changer. They're the first mover on that space. And I don't know if they're ever going to get bought out, but they recently have a deal with Pepsi and Yum Brands. And I like Beyond Meat, so I wanted to bring that one up. I don't know. I mean, I prefer the straight goods, but the wife grabs the Beyond Meat burgers. And
look, every time we talk Beyond Meat, I get a little bit nerdy, and I say, look up what the minority rule is. Read Nassim Taleb. When it comes to something like a Beyond Meat, because the reality is, at some point, I just believe it's a future. And I've said that from the very beginning. I think whether or not it's going to be particularly them, it's going to be a game changer within the next 10, 15 years or so. At GameStop, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by this news, and if you are, I don't know, maybe. I don't know if you're paying attention, but GameStop, each time we've popped into this range lately, there's been some good fade trades in here, and it's been you get the 190s and the 200s, and then extending up to 215. In this particular day, I actually think there is a decent shot, and again, I backed away from these recently, but this 190 potential break. Now, we've backed off from this level a little bit here. Now, the times that it hasn't worked out, usually we're like screaming into it at 9:30. There hasn't been any pullback or shake of anybody out here, so I almost like the shot for like a 190 break on GameStop. I think it still has to be, for me, when it's a GameStop breakout, it's got to go right away, or I'm just gonna run to the hills on that. I think if it stalls at 195, that's maybe anticipated. I think, best case scenario, maybe you hold for like a 97, 98, something along those lines. So it's probably going to get into some chop. I don't think I'll short it unless it's 200. I don't know if you're breaking through 175 today, but I definitely look at like 200, 215, something along those lines for GameStop. And 190 break, we'll see what happens. The one caveat, though, is like if I get squared to the long side, and let's say a couple of other positions come in that we're looking for dip buys on, maybe like Hall of Fame or whatnot, I might go ahead and say I don't want to manage GameStop through 190. That's more of a risk reward thing. I don't like being in multiple symbols of that nature at the same time, because GameStop requires your attention when you get into it on a breakout. You have to make some quick decisions there. So it'd be a 190 break. Otherwise, give me like a 220 short, something along those lines. 200. We'll look and see if there's any sellers there.
All right, we'll go to Box Incorporated next, software name downside today. Interesting look here in the pre-market, down about 10% or pushing towards 10%, and session lows after announcing multiple board member and director changes, along with a $500 million investment from investment firm KKR. But is this too much, guys? 9% here on a $500 million investment?
I don't really know what's going on, because it doesn't make any sense. Investment strategic partner with investment. Like, I don't know why. I'm not sure why it's down. So the only reason I can think that it's down, and again, I don't know enough about the company to know, but maybe were they expecting a larger investment? I mean, maybe that's something, but it seems good. KKR knows what they're doing. So if you like the stock, get in. And not only that, you're approaching, and I was going to say, before I read the news, and I think the news isn't negative, but maybe if some of you on the chat can find out why, I'm only thinking, there goes Apple right now breaking through 129. So hell yeah, we have an offer at 129.20 to get out for 40 cents for the first third if we can get it. But we have this 21 right here. You could see, you know what, Neil, I cleared the cache, and that worked apparently. So now my day charts go back, so that's good. 22 even there, that's right where we're at right now. So that could be something that we're looking at. And then if you dip it down here, you have consolidation, you have 21 right here, you have 21 right here, you have like, 20 and a half right there, and 21 right here. So, I mean, this is gonna be a key level. So I think you gotta be sitting around and debating buying some Box here if you understand the story. I'm fully admitting this, I don't really understand why it's down on that, other than the fact that perhaps they are looking for that bigger push from KKR. And, if you're expecting, it's like Christmas, man. You're expecting that PS5 and they drop a PS3 down. I mean, you're gonna be pissed off, right? So I think that that's maybe what this is, but that's just rhetoric by me. I absolutely have no idea.
I'm not enough of a gamer to be disappointed in that, but the only thing I can think of is exactly what you said there, Sean. And it's that there must have been an expectation for a little bit more out of them. But you just look at the levels here, and it's like, I don't know how you don't take a quick look at that 21 area to see if we can't get a bit of a comebacker there. Sometimes you let the market do the pricing, which I always find is a decent way to think about it. So if there's enough smart money thinking the same thing, it'll get pretty noticeable down around that 21 area. Maybe just wait for that kind of confirmation before you jump in too deeply here. And if it does, given the way it's responded here today, it does feel like if it wants to get back to, you heard Arun talk about previous support turn of resistance, that kind of thing, and vice versa. If it does come pump back into like a 23, like up $1 or so, I just look at that first recovery level and say to myself, okay, if I want to short something, let's make it actually make a move before I think about shorting. On this setup, if I really believed in bad news, I'd be shorting through the bottom at 22 and getting out at 21. In this particular case, I'd have to short strength in Box just because I'm not sure it's as negative as it seems.
All right, let's talk about this crazy little U-Time. Chinese mobile device maker made its debut on the NASDAQ 2 days ago at $4. We got to 107 and change yesterday at day highs. It was halted again multiple times throughout the session. I want to focus on this, though. I think this thing showed a tan finally in the last kind of hour of the day here. I was watching this as it was coming off, and there was really no bid heading into the close yesterday, although we are starting to creep back up here this morning.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was actually also ridiculously expensive to get those shorts. Today, it's like it's on sale. It's 1/5 of the cost for pay for shorts in Utah. And we said this multiple times, that eventually this was likely to happen. It apparently took a double top at 100, or over 100, I should say, well, 100. At like 107, I think it got to, and it took a big time double top up there. And you get this halt reversal, and a stock does not absolutely crater and make and hold the lows after that. That just shows you how much gusto that this thing actually came with. And I look to that flush you talked about there, Brandon. I look to that bottom, which is right here, essentially right now at 67s. That was the level I wrote down. I mean, I came in and I sat down and said, okay, look at the 67 level. If you go back to the upside here and we have a breakout, your probably next resistance is going to be at that 85. So if I take a rollover, and I did pay for the shorts today, so this is the first day that I actually want to play this when it starts to make a little bit more sense. I want to price in around 67 and see if you can't get something into the 70 range. If it pops through there, I'd be willing to temporarily give it up until it makes a test of 85. But I can't see any hard reason why this doesn't have the chance to trade back into 44 to 50. Especially where we started yesterday. Even I mean, forget about $12 a couple sessions ago. I look back to yesterday morning and say, reasonable to get back to that 44 to 50 range. So if you can get $10, $15 moves out of it and find a way to risk that 5, I think that's going to be the way to go for me on U-Time. I like the 67 area. I'll probably give that into like that 70 range. And then from there, if it makes a pop up, it's either checking halts or checking that 85 level, because you don't want to just get caught when this thing makes moves. There's a lot of $10, $15 candles in this stock, and then a few of them that are like $20, $25, and that could happen anytime.
Yeah, just trade it. I mean, that's good analysis on the price levels. I'm not going to do any more than that. But other than the fact that you have 60 bottom, I think that's worth breaking. It touched there a couple days ago, or actually this is just yesterday. That's where we started. It broke yesterday, this morning, bottom as well, $60. Is it avoidable to trade? No, I mean, you could trade it. It's just use less shares and make sure that you have the shortables. So if you are trading this name, just ask your broker for shorts, figure out how much they are to pay for them. If you can, if they don't have it, then you're only going to be looking long. So if you're only looking long, then I would defend the 60 and then obviously put out a limit order of maybe like 57 or 58. I just saying that, like, if it breaks 60, you may, Neil was just talking about some of these candles to the downside and to the upside, both ways. If a key level's broken, you may have to, and I don't want you guys to hit market orders. You can if you want, but like, I would rather just like maybe limit it down to a couple bucks, like $3 or $4, rather than hitting a market order, because if everybody hits a market order, then sometimes you get like wicks, which isn't that bad, but you don't want to be the top of the wick. And I'm sure I'll show you on a couple trades today when I am the top or the bottom of a wick.
All right, I saw that comment on Best Buy. Real quick, Best Buy. I mean, I think one way you can kind of look at news and get an opinion on news is, what is the stock doing? And in this case, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, Best Buy membership, $200 a month. So what? Is that news? I'm not sure.
What is that membership?
It's they're trying to compete with Prime. So it's like an annual, or not an annual membership, but a membership to get first access, some discounts, things of that nature. But there's literally no reaction. So I'm not sure. Is this news, guys?
No.
Yeah. So.
I mean, if it's like Prime is what, $69 a month or a year, something like that, or $100, and you get Prime Video and you get free deliveries. So without understanding it, like, to me, I think like Foot Locker or somebody that drops like unique shoes or only has certain offerings, I think that would work on a membership thing, where it's like you get first in line for those new Air Jordans, or whoever is making, for Brendan, it could be the new Jordan Spieth golf shoes, something like that. But
that was my pick, man.
Like I'm laughing before I'm even saying the joke. Like, this is what's going through my head. You can be a believer. That's fine. It's Justin Thomas who's going to win this thing. Okay, so you can find me on Twitter. I already posted my picks. I think Neil's all about Colin Morikawa, so we'll talk about that.
I mean, technically, I did ask the viewers for that one, so.
No, I don't care who you ask. That's your pick, Neil. Your pick, Colin Morikawa.
Let's go, Colin.
I mean, it's not like we sit around and watch golf, so I don't know. I mean, I like to watch golf, and I'll be having that with a nice, refreshing beverage, hopefully on Sunday when Sergio Garcia is battling for the lead. I talked about this with Mark Roberts back here, and he went short, I went long, and right now that one's a winner. So we'll wait to see. I just never understood why Best Buy even really fell down to these levels. And I thought that 100, you remember, I think it's Marcelina. If you're watching What's Up, Marcelina's second wife, you know, I know that she went long as well on Best Buy, so that's been a good one. I think maybe we're getting top heavy right now with the reopen happening. I think more people will go to Best Buy, but I was talking with Trader TV Randy, and he was saying that Best Buy around here was completely empty, the shelves. So, before we go, hold on a second. I just want to call up the imbalance locator because we haven't even done that yet. So 10-cent music is up here, SOS. We haven't talked about Palantir, but we will. I love that 2350 level. I love 2275. I will be trading Palantir today. And there's Box and there's Snap. So no Twitter on here, which is very surprising to me.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised, but I just want to know the GM falling down a little bit here. They cut some production at several plants, and again, it's more, the chip shortage is what it is. It's just, you're testing and breaking through the 60-50 level, and if it doesn't hold, I gotta love GM at like a 58.5. There's a couple of, I want to quickly get to OCGN. Ocugen is on our watch list here. Oh, sorry, no, never mind. Let's go to Brendan at the big screen. I think he wants to talk about the same name.
I mean, we can switch. It's fine. I don't care. OCGN, yeah, bottom of the watch list, guys. The Mexican government has approved one of their partners' COVID-19 Covaxin, I believe it's called, COVID-19 vaccine. So Mexico getting that one, which has this thing up ever so slightly today. I'm just watching 750 on OCGN. What do you think, Neil?
Well, I'm in this one already. I'm looking at a 7 level, and every now and then I will make this type of a play here where I look back into yesterday's prices. I like that 750 spike. We're holding below that lower high at 735, and then I'm really playing off the this last little dish effort that we had here at 715. So that's what my price is right now. I got a 716 short. I don't want to average, this is the last 5 minutes, right? So I never want to average into the top when it makes that kind of a move. I want to add onto the position if we can break out down through 7, and I'm not going to be adding on the way up. If it takes out the pre-market highs, I would just take this trade off and then look for a re-entry point at that point. But through 7, I think you have like a clear shot to test that little bottom at 680. You saw this one come off heavily, of course, already. So we know what it can do in the sell-off yesterday. If it finds a bounce at 680, you got to take your profit for sure. That's kind of why I wanted to fade into some shares before 7 even, so I have a chance to make more than just like the 15-cent a scalp trade. But I'll look through that through 7 and see if we can't get some shares there. Of course, I already talked about Sundial. This is literally like a $1 play. I'm just playing off the $1 level, so you'll probably see me short like 99s every day that it just hangs around here. Probably get it out at 1s and 2s, things of that nature, and wait for that final flush to come in.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if we were going to go back to Brendan there. NEO, it's approaching right now 38. We talked about this earlier on. Look, there's expat. Let's just check. Was NEO on this board? They're normally here. Yeah, there they are. Okay, so 139 buy. These are market on open orders. So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This is called the imbalance locator. If you're with Day Trade the World, you can subscribe to this if you have NYSE data. NIO right now, NEO, you're going to see it here, 37, 38. It doesn't look like anything on the daily chart. We talked, oh, wait a minute. I said my charts refreshed, but I guess they didn't. 34 to the downside there. We're going to be protecting that. I don't think we get there today. There's not enough news in the market to push this thing too low. But this is a key level, man. 38, 38, 10. Like anywhere around here. I think if we could break that, this is worth it for me. I know we're not taking breakouts early, guys, but with only 3 minutes to go, I think this is a possible runner today to the upside. It's just been beat down so much. It's nice to see that it's beating the NASDAQ right now. So I think you can get a 38 print here today, and then we'll see what happens. So let's watch out for 38.10 maybe, 38. I mean, if you're really, I'd like to clear this area and then use 38 as the bottom. And I know that's a strategy that Neil and I are trying to work on, and like playing off strong levels and maybe not playing breakouts. So we're going to wait to see what happens. I'm going to take it, but just not heavy, through 38. And then I really want to see what happens around this 37.50 level. And then worst case scenario, man, we'll take a dump on this stock we'll take a dump. The stock will take a dump down to 37. Where's that flush? I got to flush myself down.
Nature calls sometimes.
I got to flush myself down for that one. Here we go. So NASDAQ taking off now. So I like 38. I like 37.50. But I also like Apple. And it looks like we're going to get taken out right now. We are literally, as my kids say, waiting at 129.21. And of course, for some reason, that stops at 129.20. But we'll get that print right off open. So a nice little win here. We're already 40 cents in the money, 30 cents in the money on Apple, guys. guys. So 1 for 1 on the tech names as long as it continues this ride higher.
Yeah, and a little bit of a bounce here in Tesla. Worth noting the bottom yesterday, not quite 666. If you've watched the show, you've known that that's been a bit of a level here. 668 it bounced off of. Looking at 680 through the top here. It gets to 680, and then Tesla could participate in this move as well. And Square making a bounce. It's not at 250, but that'd come off $1.50. If I get a dip buy, I might have to do that play in Square as well. Brendo?
Real quick, guys, XPEP just popped up there. If anyone noticed on this, they're going to build a factory in Wuhan, in China, of all places, guys.
Wuhan, you got you all in check with that one. Okay, so Wuhan, yeah, I think I know that city from something. I can't remember why. Okay, 244 on Square is a nice little bottom, but right now barcoding doing a hell of a lot of nothing. Right now, check in on the NASDAQ imbalances. Quick time here for you. Apple, oh yeah, baby. Apple on the high side there, and that's the name that we have. So we are long Apple right now. And I'm looking for NEO. Quick little note here on the sticky note. Quick. There it is. Twitter 70, NEO 38. Watch out for 37. Apple 129. We're already on that. Palantir's right there as well. And then there's the Square 250. So let's wait to see what happens, guys. Only 20 seconds.
Yeah, 20 seconds till the open. HOFV just pulled all the way back into $5. It broke through the top, 525 breakout. It's looking to hold these levels here. Now, I like yesterday's high. Well, going to drop the countdown here for you guys so you can get that belt. But I like yesterday's high, that 487 area into 465 for a bit of a dip by on Hall of Fame resources. And 3 and 2, it's off by a second. Don't knock Larry in the head when you lower the bell.
Okay, let's go. So for some reason, we just got long NEO at the bottom, 37.61 there. And NEO just makes a move to the downside, but it hasn't opened yet. Like NEO just dropped, guys, huge right there. So we're in very, very small. Like we said, we were not expecting to get this. So we're going to have to defend 37 even downside right now. So a NASDAQ making the move down, some stocks falling down. We celebrated Apple too early. It didn't touch me at that one. It's too bad. It was one penny away, but good opportunity to pick up Apple as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're just going to come back, if I can, to that Occugen. It's making a bit of a push to the upside. No break through 7, so we're watching it very closely. I do have 715 to the short side. Can't let it go through that 735 to the top. And Li Auto, so the second you mentioned the EV spacer, Li Auto starting to pull back as well. I'm going to start a little bit of a defense here. See if like 2280 can't hold. We also like 22 as a bit of a price, just giving you the higher time frame so you can see how much it had dropped off of that offering. Sundial on the move as well. I didn't add to my 99 short position. I'll see if I can on any kind of a pop, but I think it can go to like that 95, get a little nice winner there, and eventually if it breaks 95, you got that 80 level.
Oh man, I put in a stop order and made a keystroke error, so we got in and out there and back in. So that's my bet on that one. Okay, Palantir right now, we're starting the bids. So we've got a bid now down at 37, so we are long now, 37.07 with a nice run, guys. You know what? Screw this. Let's take some out. Can we get some 15s here? Yes. We can. So a nice little win there on Palantir to start the day. So yeah, we'll start it off, man. We'll go money time, but we need the more. So let's see if this one can keep going. Palantir, a nice little bid there. There goes NEO. So we're starting to go upside. I don't even think we've opened yet. I don't even see a New York print. So we need NEO to open, and hopefully it doesn't open higher. So I hope it doesn't open lower than where it is right now. Here we go. NEO now maybe open up to 37.64.
Oh my God, Square, are you kidding me? Did I miss that print?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, it is. I don't know if you got it. I missed it.
Which one?
Square's not even loading here.
See if I can get Square? No, I don't have that.
Yeah, look, it is what it is, guys. I actually threw a dip buy in there. That's actually still there, but I did miss out on that break at 250. I'm going to assume it just wasn't enough liquidity there. If it gives any kind of a pullback, I'm going to see if I can't get involved, like 250 half. But it is what it is. We can talk about the levels all we want. We gave you that 250. I know some guys in the chat were looking at it. Please let us know if you got that Square. Great break through 250. And look at that continuation. It's a fantastic one here.
We love Square.
I'm going to be kicking myself over this one all day long.
Yeah, we love Square.
Brendan?
Anyways, what's up, Brendan?
Safety Group, guys, SFET, one we've traded before on the show, just coming back to the downside, but up 20%, yeah, on some positive news this morning, just checking, double checking. 175, a decent level here to look at on Safety Group, guys.
The thing about Square is I'm already long 212, so we're going to go woohoo on that one, but we do miss it today. And then look at this. I actually missed this as well, but I just go over and put a bid in and take this one. So there it is. Did we just get hit there? I'm 05 long, I believe, on Twitter. Sorry, 10 longs on Twitter. So here we go, man. The Bulls be kicking today, boy. NEO right now, 8 cents in the money. We obviously are waiting for a lot longer than that. We just took some out at 80, so that was a good print. We're 4 longs, man. Big trade here for Twitter. Looks like Twitter, Palantir trying, NEO trying, and Apple right now, right at my spot again. So let's go, Apple. 129.21. Make me a winner. And boom, there it is, guys. Walking on water today with 4 monster longs right now. I mean, I'm just most concerned about Neo. There goes Apple. Adios, amigos. Let's see how high this one wants to go.
Yeah, like I got some Li Auto, so I'm actually concerned about that one as well. They're Sundial actually making a bit of a move. Yesterday, it had some trouble getting through 98. I had that hammer short at 99s and evens. So I'm going to take profits off, some at 98. I'm going to work into more shares every chance I get. Ocugen is holding at least for now. We're going to go to Brendan, but it's getting close to that top.
Just checking on some SPAC action. Rice in New York up 45%. They're taking an energy company, this Archaea Energy, public with a merger just announced, guys. Big move here for Rice today.
Let's go. Chicken dinner winners right now. Neo, let's go. Still ripping to the high side there. Big trade alert for me on NIO. Yeah, we're already one-time daily goal. One time right now on 4 longs, guys. Apple long, 77. I mean, this is how you hit your goals. You make the calls. Watch out, Valeria. You make the calls. Thank you, Valeria. You make the calls and you follow them. Look at this. Twitter, Neo 37. That's where I'm long. Apple 129. Let's go. Square 250. Palantir's on that board as well. So let's just keep on going to the high side. Just took some Twitter out, man. 70.50 there. Good. That was a good out.
And remember we talked about a HOFV, comes all the way right back into that little dip area. Now, sometimes I'd be fading short like that. I already have a couple of shorts that I really like on here. So going the other direction this time, starting to consolidate off of 475. Even if it comes back into like a VWAP, I knew I wanted to buy a dip in this particular name. So starting it off here, I got 87s as an average price, not quite like 85s or so, but I think we can get that little move to the upside here. Get some orders in, because if it shoots to the upside, which these stocks can do on you, you want to make sure you don't miss out on that chance to take profit. I don't have to worry about taking profit on Sundial. That's going to work out. I got some bids down there to make sure it happens. Square, on the other hand, I can go ahead. Like, probably not going to get that little 246 dip buy. We thought maybe that was going to be the case. I think it's going to be more along the lines if it dips into VWAP here. I want to have a little piece of this party, so I'm going to start a little something, if I can, around 251.50, and then see if I can't work into some Square. Brendo?
It's Box, guys, from the watch list this morning, just popping up here on a huge volume spike. It was a little bit slow getting going there, but once they finally got it open and trading, 21, looks like 16, the bottom, coming into significant levels over here, as we mentioned, guys.
All right. Yeah, I'm just trying to get out of some trades here because everything is working for us like gangbusters right now. Neo does go above 38 there, so we did take some more shares on that rip. So we'll wait to see what that wants to do. But right now, Neo to the high side looks like it's in control right now. So a good couple buys here on Neo. We told you that 37.50 level. We gave you that early, and now we're hitting it. So that's what we do on the show, man. I give you the levels and we take them. There's Apple right now. It just goes as high as 129.50. That may be the spot. So debating taking some more out at 129.50. We're already a third out for 40 cents. We'll see if we can't make this a clean. I mean, where are we long right now? 72. So this is a decent run up for Apple. Let's take a little bit more off here at this 50 level, as we've already touched upside on Apple.
Yeah, so we're able to get a little bit here, and we'll go with a little arrow up for Squares. It touches through the top. I scalp off a buck, just under $1 here after I get a 251 half long. So it's not going to be 250. We talked about finding a place to buy the dip. If you don't get the price you like, I'm going to start playing the scalp game. If I had some shares around 250, I'd probably hang on to it a little bit deeper. But if I get this out, like, a 253, I think I'm going to rinse and repeat this action. I think we can maybe bounce down off of 255, start catching some 252s, get in, get out over and over again. So you have to find a way to get back on the horse every single chance you get. Going to go back to that Ocugen because, sometimes you play into this ones, and I like the fade. I said, wait, 235. I get my shares on the 230 rollover, so we're able to start getting some shares out here at the bottom at 213. First year, 715, sorry. Then 735, we got that rollover. I got 30 to the short side here. I still like a 7 break on Ocugen, but I'm playing off the 735 level first things and foremost. If you're going to give me 15, 20 cents on a stock like this, I'll start taking it off in front of 7. Brendo.
VISL, Visalink, up on a contract this morning, multi-million-dollar contract for camera equipment for, I believe it's E-Series Racing. Something along those lines. Have a look at VISL. Also, we didn't talk about Nikola, guys. There was a contract for Nikola as well. 2% higher this morning. They're partnering with Rig 360.
Nikola is? Okay. Interesting. Okay, here goes the NASDAQ now. Twitter again. Look, it made that huge run. We're still long at 70, but we just took another piece off on VWAP. So we only have 40% left. We're out of 60%. Do I think it runs? Yeah. So now we're going to hold on the rest of this, see if we take out the high there on Twitter. That'd be pretty sweet if that does come through. So we're excited to see if that happens. And then right now, Palantir is the only one really that hasn't taken off into that NASDAQ move. So that's making me worry a little bit. So we did take some off there for that 10 cents first. And then we just took 5-cent piece there. And now it looks like we're heading to the downside. So we do have to watch out for Palantir. That's just the one that's not moving. But look what is moving, man. We still have this a dollar winner right now. I consider this diamond hands. I mean, we're long at the bottom and we're out near the top, and we're just waiting to see how high Apple wants to fly on a day where the NASDAQ appears to be taking off again. So a good little move upside for Apple. We'll continue to watch that. I'm not nervous about NIO, but you know, we did take some there. Remember I told you these breaks were going to be small shares? This is the real, you know, the real position was down here. That's where we liked it, 37, 37.50. We talked about that. So as long as it kind of holds upside, we're okay, but I am going to take off a little bit more here. I don't want to give back everything on these two plays that we made here, just in case NIO falters. But the NASDAQ looks like it's trying to hold up here at 13,700. A good little position for that. And there goes Twitter, and Apple's still that dollar in the money.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a bit of a problem with that, Neil, because I got Li Auto as well. It's the only position that's really giving me some concern at these levels. And right at 680, we talked about Tesla, that's 666 and 680. Tesla turned on a dime right at 680 off the open and is now giving a bit of a pullback. So I'd like to see Tesla find some support before maybe I take any more shares in that Li Auto position. I am going to go over to the stock that we've been long a couple of times now. That's going to be Square. So I bought a couple of dips in here on Square. First at $251.50, $21. Yeah, right. And then again here at $252.11. I'm always going to scalp off that buck, see if we can't hang on. I think at this point, you know what, it's settling in pretty nicely, looking strong, market at the highs. We're going to hang on to this at least through 255. So we got another nice one in here. We'll drop the money. And the key thing is, look, I think we both love that 250 level. I'm sure a lot of people did. I missed it. It is what it is. You got to get off. You got to get back on the horse, and don't sit there and cry over spilt milk. Now, Ocugen with the break. Now remember, adding to my shares so through 299. Sure, I shorted the pops, but I also like that 7 break. So you're going to see a different average price as I now got more aggressive in Ocugen and it continues to fall to the downside. So Ocugen and Sundial were the names I liked to the short side. I didn't really have much of anything else. Li Auto maybe should have been one, because if it's going to be a loser today, it feels like it's Li Auto. It's trying to hold these pre-market levels down at like 2240. Thought I could make a little bit of a break. The EV names not looking as good if you look at the Chinese names here. And I think Tesla resistance at 680 was probably the bigger problem.
You know, I'm like 100% with you here as we seeing about getting out of some of our NIOs right now, as it just looks like it wants to be a problem for us. But a bigger problem for me right now, and it's not a huge one because we did have the levels picked out, so we're not huge into this yet. But this bottom pick down here, 2280, we got to wait for Palantir to get down to 2250 before we do anything. We know how Palantir trades, man. It bounced off the quarters yesterday. Let's see what happens today. I still have faith in this name. We did just take another bid there at 88. So let's wait to see if it does come below this 2250 level. We may have to hold on to Palantir a little longer than we'd like, which is not a problem. It's just it's not working out right now. NIO, though, comes right back. You see me with a bunch of outs. Here we go. There he goes. There it is. There it is. Yes, sir. A nice little tick up there for NIO. So happy with the way that one's working out right now. But we are just going to exit out and watch out for put some more orders upside on NIO. I think we can get into this area, 38.60, 38.50, and then watch out for 39. Maybe 39's coming here. Let's hold on to some NIO and see if we can't make a bigger winner on this one, guys.
Yeah, in Hall of Fame, like, I got a double dip here at 485. I was able to scalp some out there. And then now with consolidation off of this pre-market level for me to clock guys at 475. We like this to 465. That's the level we sort of gave you to defend in front. So I tried scalping every 10 cents in front of it. If we get a pop, I'm going to start taking some off. I mean, I have some bids, some offers at 505. And I'll throw some more at that 490 range on any kind of strength. Square's still looking good, but Hall of Fame starting to creep to the downside on me. Brendo.
Just going to open a new chart here if I can because mine froze, but I wanted to show you Smile Direct Club, guys. They announced a new lifetime smile guarantee. So big volume spike just came in there for SDC, back above $10, guys.
That's pretty funny. I was talking about that yesterday as my kid lost her second tooth, and I said that I need to be a Smile Direct member. So we'll see about that. But just all kidding aside, everything's fine. She's 6. Okay, 38.20 to the high side right now. NIO, man, continues it. This is what we're doing. I mean, this is what we do every day on the show. Hopefully, is find you guys key levels and just hit the trades. I told you that I thought NIO today was going to outperform the NASDAQ, and that's exactly what it did. We talked about why. Join us every every single morning live as we start the show at 8:30, man. Send it to your friends, send it to whoever you would like. That would be great. Okay, Palantir. Cha-ching! We did it again, so we'll go a little bit of daps on this one. We're finally back to in the money right now, or at the money for Palantir, up to $22, $23 off this bid. We talked about holding that bottom from yesterday. It looks like it did that. Now we just need it to work for us. I'm debating getting more out here. I don't know what kind of a run Palantir has in it today, but again, was not expecting this dip in what was a relatively strong NASDAQ move. Palantir only has that one green candle, and it's right now.
Yeah, and I'm a little more active than I think I would normally be in Square, but like that 252 break, so take like a 50-cent hit. We're trying to hang on for 255, but if I'm going to be scalp trading, then that's what I'm going to do on Square, relatively speaking. I mean, like, you know, take $1, $2, and then lose like 50 cents. I'll call that scalp trading there. UTME, don't want to get too far away from this. Yes, it was a good short off 70, but you remember that was Square time. Trying to bounce off of this like 58 level. I want to be sort of fading any strength that it happens to have here, and I'd hope it gets back to view up at like 65, so I can fade into it. The volume is dying on that stock, and I think it's going to die. The share price is likely to die with it. Just to come back and show you what happened on Sundial, it didn't quite get to 95. It did pull all the way back into 96.50. At no point have I been able to add to my short position, unfortunately. So everything I have is from earlier on in the session when I was shorting in the pre-market in front of $1, and I'll continue to do so in front of that 99 range. Maybe I'll have to start taking some in the mid 98s if that's the only way I can get into position. That's what I'll just go ahead and have to do. You got to play what it is. And as far as that acquisition goes, the SPAC of the day. Rice, there it is. Yeah, sorry, Rice just made a bit of a hard turn off of 15 even, but it's been bouncing really strongly off VWAP every single time. So I'd look for maybe the same thing to happen off 14. If this thing ever gets back below 13, that could get pretty ugly.
Yeah, I'm with you on a lot of that talk. Did we just get something new? No, we did not. I was looking actually, man, should have got something new there. I was just calling up the... should have hit the bid. Should have hit the ask. I was just calling this up because this was the only position that we had against us was this Twitter, and I was like, where are some levels to the downside? Because all I really was like in love with that 70 break, and then it went at 70 cents in the money. And I was like, why is this down against me? We should have picked some up 69.25. We won't step on that again. We'll make sure that we can hit that trade for you if it does come through again. 79.25 there on Twitter, I think is a great one. We'll get this out at 50, and then we'll hold the last bit. 20, 40, 60. We'll see if we get another 20% out at 70, 20 there on the upside. And then the only thing, my baby apparently, Palantir, everyone thinks I love this stock so much. I do. I love to trade it. I'm not infatuated with it anymore. It's not moving as much as we like. I told you this was the only green candle there. That's why we got out of some of our trades there. And we'll watch Palantir. Hopefully it doesn't continue to fall, man, but we got to watch out for that 22.50 level. Like that's the danger zone for us. So if that comes through, man, we are watching out for Square, for Palantir on that downside. I love that Square take. And then here comes Twitter back to the downside. Let's see if we pick some up 69.70 in case that happens again.
Yeah, that was too tight a stop on Square. You know, I'm going to take another shot at it. Anytime it happens to me where you get wicked out like this, and I look back to how much I like that 250 level. Look, of course, I want to defend 250 if it gets down there, but I think I got too aggressive thinking, well, this is going to be it. Don't let it get through 251 because I want to dive into this one big time at that 250 level. If it does hold around VWAP and give you a secondary push, I'll try to get back in on some consolidation. Brendo?
I had a quick read on this Nikola news, guys. This Rig 360 is a national sales and service network that they're teaming up with for the service of the Class 8 truck that they are allegedly going to make at some point. But not much of a reaction here. It was up in the pre-market for Nikola. Still positive, but heading southbound as well.
Okay, just looking here at what we're going to do with Palantir. I just looked a little bit longer on this chart. You can see there's this 22.75. That's the level that we're talking about. Hold. It's got to hold that, and it's coming right back into it right now. You know, the NASDAQ falling down, this is exactly what Palantir wants, man. It wants to take this out, and now it's getting the chance to do that. And, you know, we're still long. We're going to give it to 22.50, down right down there. If it breaks 22.75, let's see if it can hold 22.50. I mean, I can't just keep on picking these levels all the way down. So we're going to wait for 22.50. I'm not going to average in until we get one more break, like 22.60, something like that. My average price is not that bad. It's literally 10 cents away. Well, now it's more. 15 cents away from where we are now. So we're not going to fall on a sword here, but we will try to defend this 22.75. It's coming in right now. So watch out for 22.50. It's really the only position that we're in trouble with. We've already cleaned out NEO. NEO was a monster trade. We took advantage of this pump up there. I thought it was going to go, but we took advantage of that. Now it's coming back in. Look at the NASDAQ puking. This is going to be in trouble. Let's take out Apple now. Apple is a nice trade for us. There it is. We take that out right now. That's a win off that. So nice trade on Apple. We're really happy, but the bears are coming in right now.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the bears coming in, we'll go a little William Kassouf action. Top OCGN. We got the top of that one at 730. That just cracked. I remember 687 to 680 was that level. So take a bunch of shares out in front of 680. We're going to get like a 50-cent win on that move there. And of course, we talked about Sundial. I bundled this one yesterday. I talked about this. I'll go over the trade at some point because it was a sloppy discipline for me last time through. This time we actually get the flush. It's coming through 95. It just busted a huge level at 96. If 95 can't hold, I mean, there's a lot of room to the downside for Sundial, and it is what it is. You can start picking on this stock, but once we start getting through these levels, you start thinking about, okay, 85 and then support at like 55 and 60. So could get pretty ugly for Sundial here. Getting ugly for, of course, the two positions. I saw that Li Auto. It's holding up for now, but looking relatively weak. I guess we're not going to get the spike we want. I'm not going to get the spike I want here unless Tesla can get a rebound itself. Brendo?
All right, Neil, you mentioned this to me when we got here this morning. Very on the NASDAQ, VERY. Saw a couple of people mentioning this in the chat. This is Vericity, guys. If you're wondering, Vericity Incorporated is the NASDAQ listing. Yes, they filed their full year results after market yesterday. Their fiscal full year results after market yesterday. But over on this side, the Very Good Food Company also made its debut on the Canadian market today. So this is not the Very Good Food Company. This is Vericity, just so everybody knows, guys.
Yeah, insurance company Vericity. I actually want to double check and see if I can't. I got to make sure we have like a shortable shares. This is a very small. Look, it's a small cap name as well, but it's doing just churning through volume at 7 million here. And as I see it testing that 20 even, I gotta like a level like that if it's going to go. But the concern for me is going to be this Li Auto, guys. We're now dipped into it again. It's trying to test that 22 bottom. We talked about defending 22, so I'm sort of trying to hold off in terms of adding any shares at this point to see if it gets a real test of that low of the day. I guess it's not going to have the strength we anticipated. The shorts are coming in for me here, and I wish I still had some square. That could take the top off. I'm going to like that 255 if square comes in because there's always room to run in that particular name. But Li Auto, you stink. I hate your guts. And I'm going to look for some shortable shares in that very insurance or whatever you want to call it, not the Very Good Food Company.
Not Very Good Food Company. Okay, Li Auto not doing wonders for Neil, but I guess I picked the stronger one today. You're long Li Auto, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I picked a stronger one today. 38.20 right now for Neo, and we're long only at 16, but doesn't matter. We've already, like that's this trade right here. We've already cashed in, man. This is my number one stock, which is kind of funny because Apple was a great, oh, damn it, we got out way too long on that. Way too, VWAP break, whatever. I thought the NASDAQ was crashing there. Okay, so Apple, bad out there, but that doesn't matter. Still a great trade for me. And then Twitter's been a great trade. There it is. Yes, sir. Didn't even notice that. We just got that right now. Twitter on the bump back up. We're waiting at 69.80. In, out. So there's like a little quick scalp on Twitter. We hope to go higher on that name as well. And then Neo's just been cashed out. I do have an offer at 30 for Neo. So wow, big move up here in the NASDAQ. Wowzers, to say the least. And look what's happening to Palantir. You can go to hell, Palantir. This one didn't really get going on that move. Again, sure, we touched 77, but we went to 94. I guess that's the best move we can expect on Palantir. Let's take a bit more out. Here we go. Palantir back into the money, baby. You can stay out of hell, Palantir. What's up, Brendan?
Peloton, guys, just noticed a bit of a technical break. It looks like not seeing much in the way of headlines for this, but Peloton up 5% so far, guys.
Peloton on the move. A Snapchat trying to make another move here to the upside as well. It just, look, you had a pre-market level here at 61.50. We're bouncing off VWAP. Same thing, kind of around that price. In this strength in the market, you talk about Twitter. Snap, I think they could make some similar moves as they get their act together. So I like the name. I'm going to be buying around any kind of a VWAP dip if we can get it. I have no locates on that I'm going to keep checking in a couple of times more here because I do like the short opportunities in that particular name. And I said there might be a bit of a bounce at 680 on Oxygen. It actually had to break through, go a few pennies, and now is trying to make a bit of a bounce here. So I'm still hanging on to the short. I think the next leg down could be anywhere at least to that like 650 level in the event that 675 does not hold. Looking to buy that dip on Snapchat, and of course, guess what's still going? That square is still heading to the upside. Watch out, 255 alert side here, guys. Here's this like 254. Here's that 255 area in the daily chart. Big time level. I think there's a decent chance you're buying a dip off of this one as well. So if it comes back to 52s, we'll take it. If it gives you the break at 55, I'll take that as well.
Yes, Square's been amazing. My last buy on that one, we talked about that, 212, so that was a good one for me, and hopefully for you guys as well. Neo, we just ring the register on that one as well, so we'll go upside. We just tweeted that out. You can follow us all on Twitter. Also, you can follow us on Instagram as well. I'll drop my Insta handle there. You can follow me. Drop me any notes you would like on that as well. Yeah, just looking around to see what else is popping here. We did get our Twitter. We talked about that one. And then Palantir. Look, I've been getting out on Palantir a little bit here in these mid-90s as it looks like it wants to try to take VWAP, and that's volume weighted average price. It's what Neil and I use a lot on the show, so you know, we're going to keep going there. We've had great success with that. So here it comes up to 99.98. Again, I think I'm going to take a little. Whoa, nice move. I think we'll take a little bit off there. There it is. Okay, some 96s, 97s. They're out. You can see every time. Let's go. I'm waiting right here. There it is. A nice little tick there at 97. Let's see if it can keep on going, man. We're in the money. We haven't missed anything yet today. We're positive on absolutely every name that we have today. And the only mistake really made was dropping this Apple way too early. But so far, so good, man. Positive. We're one-time daily goal and making moves to the high side now to even beat that. As long as Palantir can keep going, we do have that. And check back on my Facebook. Over here. Check back on Facebook and see what that's doing. We don't have that today as it's fallen down. Okay, Facebook. I like to see this. No, you guys should have noted me about this. 312.50 possibility here. FB, what up, V?
Hey Sean, Aris Medical Holdings is a popular name on the chat. Ear stock is up almost 20% right now, guys.
Oh man, I was looking at Palantir. I even missed that symbol. What was it?
Ears.
Ears. Oh, ears. I hear you. Okay, let's go. Is that, you know what? I think is that an Amex stock, Neil? NQ. No, it's here on the NQ.
I think it's not.
Okay, ears. Yeah. Wow, nice little move. This has been a mover before. Yeah, okay, so we've seen this. We've heard of this before. This is not going to get, I mean, what is it, Friday yet? Okay, $4 coming through, $4.50, $4.80, looking like a good little price. It just did take out its 50 period at $3.50. So we've missed this move, but if it comes back to $3.50, I think I'm all ears on this one.
Yeah, I want to come to a level from a couple of sessions ago. We talked about this. I saw a couple of guys in the chat. Daryl, I think you're one of them. Remember 28 on CCL, 27.80. Look, the actual bottom was 27.80, but making fresh lows here right at that 28 area. If it wants to try to hold this, you have to sometimes let it break. It was 27.80 to the downside. Give that to the quarters. If it bounces off that, I think I'm going to try a bit of a retracement, a little bottom pick here from a previous level that goes into the last few sessions in CCL. It was a great reversal off the top, longs into shorts yesterday. Let's see if we can't get a bit of a bottom here, Brendo.
NanoX Imaging, guys, NNOX. We mentioned this one going back 3 days ago. Big move up 3 days ago. Remember, this actually happened all the way up here. There was some prints in the pre-market, but they got FDA approval for some technology that no one's ever seen. So take that for what it's worth. But $43 here coming into play again on NNOX. Some volume coming in.
It must be really cool to get approval on something that no one's ever seen. I mean, that's awesome. Good little look there. I'm still looking. It's my biggest position now, and I apologize if I just keep on looking at Palantir, but we just did touch a VWAP there. We're just taking some pieces out. Now there it is. You're just seeing more and more pieces come out. I think we fly now. I'm done taking some out. So let's see if Palantir wants to take out some of these highs here where we were at the open, 23.14, 23.15, long and out. Defended that 75, defended it again. It comes all the way back down, and now we're reaping the benefits. So, look, you can't make money unless you take some shares out, right? So that's what we're doing right now on Palantir. It looks like it's having a little bit of an issue at 23, but look at the NASDAQ, man. Like everything. Like what's Microsoft? Like 253 or something not yet? Yeah, they're at 254 now. Taking this out. There's no levels for Softy, guys. All we are just at all-time highs every day, it seems like, for this name. So go Softy, go.
Yeah, and remember CCL here, it actually broke this 28, got to 97 cents, and it's one of those flush out, doesn't quite get through that level, doesn't even test that 27.80. I'm always going to take these when they come back above that 28. You give it to that low of the day, that 95 area. Well, it's 97, we'll call it like 95s. And it's still like that 27.80. We can play off this now a couple of times off the bottom here in CCL. You got to look at that quarter and think, take some profit if it bounces 28, 25, and especially if it gets up to VWAP. So you want to make sure I have some orders out here on the way up. So CCL making a nice little bounce. Sometimes you really want to revisit some of those prices from previous sessions. We talked a little bit about box not making a ton of sense here. And hey, I don't know, maybe the market's agreeing because it's getting bought up a little bit. If it gets, like I said, if it gets anywhere close to that 23 area, I think at that point I could consider fading into it. And that would make a little more sense to me if it was going to be a short. And then OCGN, still gotcha. Picked up some more shares. It came back almost to $7 here, rolled over at 97. So if we're shorting a 7 break before, and I'm taking all the way down to 68, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing if it gives me a second shot at it. So only short this name for the time being. I never say never on anything, but taking profits all the way down to the 680 level on OCG. And it's gonna be HOFV and Li Auto that are gonna be the pain in the butt. A lot of times I will short names like this. Here is the bottom. This is 455. This is where it all started at 8 o'clock. So not going to be taking any more shares of this. It closed at 452 as well. So that 450 level is going to be a significant one. We're giving them a quarter on this one. And that's all I'm willing to do. And if it can bounce back up, it's got to retest 5 for me to like it here. 79 is my average price. So most of the shares I bought are going to be in that range here. Try to pick some more shares when it bounced off of 50 the first time. But Hall of Fame showing a little weakness. Time for Happening Now with Brendo.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets. Not bad, really. NASDAQ leading the way. It's the only story right now. 1 full percent if you're looking at the NASDAQ 100. 0.9 for the composite, so a nice day as well, depending on which one you look at. The Dow did go negative on the day, only slightly. S&P 500 still holding on to a slight gain as well, about 0.25% to the upside. Small caps are higher. Russell up about 0.25%. Looks like the TSX here in Toronto also in positive territory. A few things we were talking about in the pre-market this morning. Twitter on the watch list today, $70 gave you an opportunity there initially, but it's really not doing much. Volume a little lacking. Not impressive so far for Twitter. It is trying to test day highs though. This one from yesterday, we had those EVs on watch this morning. XL Fleet gapped up and then faded that all the way back to 820. So we'll see what happens, 820 and then $8 big level for XL. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold, you mentioned Twitter there, and I'm actually still in it. So I got 20, 40, 60, 80. We're still in our last 20% here of TWTR. So let's see if we can't let magic happen here and take out this 77 here, 70-70 on Twitter. If that can happen, that's fantastic. Look, there's Palantir again. I took some more out at that VWAP. It's at 23. Now it's coming back down. It's already had its little NASDAQ ride here on the upside. We cashed out, man. We loaded up. We talked about that. And so we got to reward ourselves with some things. We'll take some more out here at 92 if we're lucky enough. We missed it. We offered 92 there. Should just punch 91. So we will. Oh, no, we did get those. Oh, we did get 92s. Okay, good. So we out some 92 there. And then now we'll just wait. I have literally 30%. I have to stop saying that word like my kids. I have roughly 30% left of this trade, literally and roughly completely opposite things. 30% left of this trade. We will average back in if it comes into this area again. I'm actually less in love with the longs now, but I think that we can't avoid getting it at this level. We talked about why it's that 22.75, not only on the daily, but if we expand this back here to a 20 period, we showed you how key that level is. So I want to buy some more there. And then the other stock that keeps on going, man, NIO for the win right now today for me. My number one stock by far. Buy. We talked about that on the pre-show, the levels that I liked. So when we got this gift down here off the open, I loaded up. Look, 1, 2, 3 times. Actually, it's only twice. This was a mistake of an order. We got out and got right back in. So there it is, right back to the upside, man. My number one stock today, NIO. Neil, what is your number one stock today?
If you can't guess that it's Sundial, then I don't know where. It is what it is. I mean, it's obviously going to be Sundial. But someone said, are you going to look a gift horse in the mouth? Okay, but I'm not going. This is what it looks like, but you can't do that, especially with this bottom pick here in CCL. Like I have a couple of longs. CCL is the one that's working. Square already has worked for me here. It's pulling back off that 255, so it's not giving that secondary breakout. But it was such a weak move overall in Carnival, and we like that defense at 28. We'll see if it holds up. I'll definitely take it out all the way up to VWAP. But you go from that to like Lee, which to me has had a bit of cover for it. And again, I'm not digging into this one. I think you could dig into it if you really, really loved it. I went to the daily chart and was basically showing you yesterday's bottom, and it's trying to hold here. And then in this action, it hasn't it's tried to test the pre-market lows, but it hasn't really gotten to that bottom. If it breaks that 23 again, I'm going to like that for almost a breakout play. So I have to take some profit in front of 23. I got the long here at about 83. So if I can work myself into a better price, there's always room to add if it eventually breaks out. But you can't ignore the fact that it's been relatively weak. It is what it is. That's just the nature of the game. OCGN one more time is trying to get through that 680 level. So the first time through couldn't do it. I don't know, level 2 didn't change this from CCL. But anyways, first time through, could barely get through it. The second time is going to be a charm. If it bounces off 75, I'll take even more shares off in the 80 range. Almost have to do it every single time. I'm not loading back into CCL just yet, and the reason for that is, remember, downside is 28. There was also that 2780 level that I liked a little bit lower when you went out to that 15-minute chart or the daily, whichever you preferred. So I would give it some room. And now that I've taken about half of it off here, taking half of it off for some scalp trades, I think you give it some room through 28. No longer need to have that same stop through. And if it bounces off 80s, I can reload back into it.
Yeah, Twitter is taking out the high right now. Good talk there. Yeah, SNDL. Yeah, I don't know. I was just asking. I didn't know what your number one stock was there. So I'm glad it's SNDL because I know that's one of your babies for sure. And then here goes Twitter up to 71 now. So that's a good trade, man. We'll just keep on riding that bull. We talked about it, and I didn't get a chance to post a sticky note, although I feel. I should have. I should be posting this thing every day. There's Twitter 70, there's Neo, there's Apple, there's Palantir, and there's Square. That's all that's on this list here, guys. So there's my sticky note. Maybe I'll put it up just for future reference, but I did show this pre-market. I just didn't put it on Twitter, guys. But there it is right there. Palantir looks like we don't have any losing stocks today, so we're super happy. And it looks like Palantir is just bouncing off that level again. We waited a little bit lower, not 85s, but here comes up to 91. Mr. Brooks Koepka, what's up?
WW International moving downside today, guys, 5.5%. And that's obviously well off the lows. Watch 30 here. We're getting back above some big levels over here on WW. Morgan Stanley out with a cautious note on them today, guys.
Tesla with the 680 break, not 680 news if you're Canadian, but 680 to the upside. It held that yesterday's level, that 668, not 666, the level that I like. If you get through this, and I just want to show you on the 15-minute chart, if you get through this like 82, now I'm going to scalp some out if I can get some at like 82, 82 and a half, something along those lines. If you get through that, some sort of chop at the 688 to 690 areas you can sort of see here. So I'd probably hold off and take anything more than $5 to $10 on the second half of that trade. As it bounced to the upside, and that came up, coming down is that CCL to that 2780 level. So I said I would wait to get more shares through that 80. So just bid here at 86, see if I can pick some up on CCL. And if it breaks at 2780, I'm going to get out of that one. But Tesla finally gave that break of 680. Let's see if it can actually have some continuation. Flip-flopping about a buck up, a buck down. So no real move just yet. CCL is going to be the concern here as it gets to that, as like I said, as it gets through that 28 level. It's one of the reasons why we scalped some shares off. Oh, I didn't get that 86 fill. So we'll see if I can get some 87s there on CCL there. So get some 87s, maybe work some down to 82s. This 2780 is the other level that we really, really love. That's what we want to defend. It was that 20 cent range. Scalp some off there. The first time, I will definitely do the same thing if it gets back above 28.
Okay. Yeah, Twitter's still walking and rolling. Neo still to the upside. Let's look for some new names here. Let's check out on PaySafe quickly. I don't think it's doing anything. Nah, $14. This name, look, I'm going to keep checking back on it because I know it's one that I keep talking about. Until we get that report, I'm not concerned about PaySafe, but yesterday's high of 15, the fact that we faded off, that does bother me a little bit. This is formerly BFT. Again, it's nothing. We're not gonna worry about it. Like I said, until we actually see some numbers, but we'll wait on PaySafe to come. I think that's just gonna be a big one, especially with Square, and what's been happening with this name. You could see this has just been taking off from these bottoms at 210. This is where, you know, I'm long down at this area, and that has been a big move for me as well. So I hope you guys have caught some of that Square move to the upside, and I just expect the same thing for BFT. It's not a beast like Square is, but we will wait to see. Maybe it is. I know it's bigger in Europe, UK with NetTeller and Skrill. We've talked about that. So we'll see if they can get some of that action as well. Apple's still riding along. Palantir back down to those levels. So we actually just, let's go to the minute chart. We actually just got filled, so noting that right now, back at that same level, 80s now. We're still waiting for 75. Like, it's 75 is the key, but I'm gonna give it to 2250. If it does go down to 2250 is where we'll get out. But right now, back in, let's take a little piece out there. We just got in at 80. We'll take some out at 83 there, but that's not a good out. Why did I do that? Let's wait for back up here, man. 90, 94, 95, 96 to actually make some real money here with Palantir. So hopefully that can rally off of a NASDAQ dip. We get a NASDAQ bump and we get back to mid-90s and we get out. Who just got flushed down?
Yeah, the flush down the toilet, going to get out of HOFE, can't hold it. That's going to be a poo-poo trade for me. A lot of crap with that one. And then the same thing's going to end up happening in Liato. Give that one up. I got into Tesla, which is probably a better play anyways, as it's holding around that 680 on the break. The other stock, which is defecating all over itself, is Sundial. It just popped down to 91 cents, so it's not at 80 yet. And it isn't even giving you any good pops to the upside. Now from here, if it gets anywhere close to 95, I'm going to jump all over that 95 for reload. It's just giving me no way back into it definitively. I have some offers which I can pretty much throw away out the window. But if it gives me a pop, I'm going to short into that. I'm scalping some off of that of CCL above 28, like I said I would. It's gotten back into the 10s and teens. So first long off 28, then long off 27.80. That's at least working out. Tesla going to hang on to, but had to dump HOFE, Hall of Fame, and Liato. Both those will end up being losing trades. So no good bottom picks there. They're my two losers. Sundial, of course, going to end up likely being my best stock. I just need to way back in to get some more shares back to the short side. 95 might have to be it. Brendo?
Dogness International Corporation, Chinese company, e-commerce company, reporting a 24 times surge in China e-commerce sales over their last period here. So this little DOGZ, if you're wondering, up big time today on that, but trying to hold above $2, guys, on huge volume.
DOGZ. Oh, that reminds me of STIC. Let's go have a quick look at that one. And again, this is going to be BarkBox. Like all these SPACs, man, like we got involved with some of these early. Oh, let's go get a day chart. It's better than this. There's no volume on these things. I think I'm long in the 13s. I'll double check all these prices and get back to you right now, but I still like BarkBox here. Let's just wait to see what's going to happen. I mean, I wonder if some of these SPACs don't even happen. Like, just because I guess they're announced, you have to wait till the day that they actually turn. And then we just saw with BFT and PaySafe, not much happened, but I just want to check back on BarkBox, as this is another name that I like. I love the pet space. We talked about Zom, we talked about Woof, and all these names, you know, good ones. Let's see where Woof is, now that I think about it. This just IPO, Petco. Where is Woof? Downside on its daily chart. Yeah, okay, forget about this. Obviously 95 didn't happen. It most likely IPO'd right here at 29. Yeah, no, 26 was for Petco. So $26, now you're at 20. So yeah, the pet industry was hot. Now it looks like it's not. So we'll have to watch out for Wolf there with STIC. Okay, Palantir, this is exactly what we wanted. So a NASDAQ move, starting to move back to the upside. So let's get some orders now ready. Let's see. Let's get some orders ready in the mid-90s now to cash out of some of Palantir here if it does wind up going. Apple's still going. Neo came back in. Good thing we took some out there. Let's get an order upside now on Neo as well. But hey, we're 5 for 5 so far today. I just got to find some more names for you guys.
Yeah, here comes that CCL, guys, bouncing off the bottom. And this is why you try to have some levels and you approve those and then you keep them on your list. Like what I try to do is like never delete them from your, never delete them from the iPad. It's an easy way to go here. But here we go, CCL. If it comes to view up, like I said, I got to make sure I'm taking profit into that. Get another out here at 20s. The dip, not quite to 27.80, but 27.85 is going to have to be close enough. I ended up having to stretch to 87 there. You saw I was bidding 86, stretched it to 87. If we get the view up, I'm going to still take profit, and no matter what. Tesla started to slow down. The market started to head towards the bottom. So we broke out. I didn't take any of it out for that usual like $1.50 scalp. Got a little bit greedy. It started to base out a little bit here, so I said, okay, let's trim half of it. Looking at some weakness here, not going to dig in too deep on that long. If it retraces into VWAP, I can buy off of that. So why not get myself a position a little bit smaller, anticipating a potential dip. The market could turn on you here, so you want to be ready for it. And that's exactly what looks like it's happening, so I'm kind of happy with that decision. And I'm going to have to get way more aggressive here in Sundial if I want to short more. I picked some up at 93.5, but could barely even get a fill. I can't even get to 95. Brendo?
I was going to get to this when it was mentioned, but Auris Medical, ears. A lot of people talking about that earlier. Still, guys, going. Day highs here as we speak, in fact. 420, just taking out 30% to the upside for ears. They provided a business update on one of their most promising drugs and plans going forward, which they call this AM301 program on Tuesday this morning, guys.
Okay. I was just looking at Twitter here. Like I said, we don't have much on, so I'm just going to try to focus on some of the names that we do have. Twitter, I was debating dropping this at VWAP, but I'm actually thinking that it's maybe worth getting a little more long here at VWAP. It's coming back down in. The only issue here, man, the NASDAQ Puke City. Like, we're already, right now, as you guys know, we're already long Palantir, which will affect the market as well. There's a bounce again, not the market will affect Palantir. 2275, it's trying to hold. Like, this is a super aggressive spot for Palantir right now. I'm going to give it a little bit more and then see if we get to 2250, but this looks like it's trying to hold upside right now on this name. So let's see if it does do that. I actually have a bid at 75. Should probably put it a little bit more aggressive. Let's put a bid right there at 77. There it is. We'll take that bid, get filled at 77, and now let's see what happens to the upside. We still have a 75 bid, but we are watching the NASDAQ kind of head southbound right now. There it is. So there's our 75 fill. So now we take one more, and then, hey, if this thing breaks 2250, we gone. But so far, so good on everything today, guys.
Yeah, I finally added some more Tesla as well off the midpoint there, off of VWAP, and I finally added a little bit more Sundial. I was all over this as I tried to roll over 93s. Now you're seeing what's happening. You can't even blink an eye without this thing just absolutely like crapping all over itself every 2 seconds. So I'm gonna have to be way more aggressive on every single pop that we can get on Sundial, to be shorting it heavily, as long as it's in this mode that it happens to be in. I tried to get some more shares out here at 28.30. No pop in CCL, but the good news is it's consolidating at least now above that 28 level. So I still have the 87s that we got. I think we want to hang on, and I probably won't even offer in the 40s or that 39. Let's let it break through VWAP and see if we can't hang on. If we end up having the bottom, I think we like it. Tesla looks like it was the right call, and sometimes it's all about, if you want the winner chicken dinner type action, know where to trim risk, right? So I knew I wanted to buy more Tesla off of VWAP here, so what I went ahead and did was scalp some shares out flat to lighten the position so that I could buy at the bottom and then make like a couple of bucks that way, and then I can still hold on to the long for the breakout style trade. So that's what we went ahead and did with Tesla. I mean, it's one of those things where if you look at what goes wrong with your trades, even the ones that worked out for you, sometimes where you didn't reload where you wanted to because you got a little bit greedy, we had a bit of approach of action here that I said, okay, no, get out flat. I never do this, so I got out some of this flat so I could buy the dip and knew that I liked it down there, especially with the market trying to base out. And I'll give you one more look here. If I can, at the NASDAQ, because I was about a corner of my eye, I was watching this 13.7 level, and as it bounced off that 13.7, or it tried to bounce off it, I'm like, well, the market could bounce here. I got to be prepared in a position to buy something that I like down there. I already had CCL, and that's not related to the NASDAQ, but Tesla was the pick for me off that 680 break, and now you're getting the push to the upside. There we go, Tesla. Just gets that 683. Yeah, now we're going. Here we go. Now we talked about that 688 to 690. I'm likely to take a bunch of it off at 687. I'll take it all off at 687 because if you watch the show from way back at our earlier iterations, the 87s were a level all the way up last year on Tesla pre-split. I used to use them for short trades, so I'm going to use it to get out of a long. If we get that 690 level, you'll see me out for a $10 winner. Brendo, sorry.
So this was about 5 minutes ago, guys. But speaking of Tesla, Mr. Musk is tweeting thanking suppliers for providing them with critical parts. But moving anyways, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, my good friend, Elon. You're the man. You're the absolute man.
You're the man. Just tweet something about Cardano. That would be all good. We can see here, I mean, Cardano is I should have asked Raheem about it, but I mean, we were talking about NFTs. He was talking about Ethereum 2.0. Cardano is like Ethereum like 5.0, guys. You're going to see this one take off. It's just hovering around 120. Yeah, just wait for it, man. I really like Cardano, and you can see Ripple today as well. XRP, the token, 96 cents. Bitcoin, okay, Bitcoin's trying to go here. I mean, as the NASDAQ goes, Bitcoin goes. We've already talked a little bit about that as well. 57.6, watch out for 58. 50, the next break of 60, I think we see the moon. So let's wait to see if that does happen on Bitcoin. Here goes Palantir. Good little rinse and repeat for me downside on this name. As you guys can see, we did pick up, I mean, what else am I supposed to do here? We're giving you guys the levels. I'm actually buying. You saw me market into one of those levels. So, you know, try to believe what you preach. And there it is, man. 22.75. Like, I load it up. It is what it is. This is what we do. So we go chicken dinner winner for you. Get the barbecue ready, my wife. We're coming home not until after 4 because we have the late show happening, and it's going to be a good one. Obviously, you see what's happening today. We're going to keep this energy going, man. A big market, big day. I'm huge again today, so we're really happy with this performance. Just let's have Palantir continue to rip to the upside. NASDAQ coming down. I'm not going to look a gift donkey in the face here and get out of Palantir. I'm calling Palantir a donkey. It's been like that for the last little bit.
You know what? It's interesting you say that. At that exact same moment, I noticed where the turn was on Tesla, exactly 685 here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, if I see a turn off an even dollar level like that, I'm like, why am I holding it up for random 87s? I'm going to go ahead and bank the $6 winner at 83s on that reload that we had, and then look to see if we fail off of 85 and the market tries to bounce off that low again, I can maybe get back at VWAP again. And I see we're testing that 13.7 area, so we are getting towards those lows again. There's always a 685 break that we can take. Tesla's going to vault up my board, but starting to creep, and because of that turn in the market, I have to worry about this. If tech comes down, I mean, you think maybe some of the reopen names could have been good, but if the entire market flushes, I mean, CCL is on that low. It's having some trouble. You look at all my outs here; they're all in this high teens range. We can't seem to break through that 25. I might have to trim this a little bit more again, so it feels like it's reckless not to take a few more shares off. So I'm going to get another out here on CCL. We played in front of 28. We played in front of 27.80. It's having a lot of trouble rounding out. So I want to be holding this, and I'm going to hold on to these last shares. It's only 20% of the position for above VWAP and any kind of a push, but the market is going to have to give us a big time assist on this one here today. So I'm out of Tesla, holding some CCL to the long side. If you see me not short Sundial today, it's probably no longer a penny stock. It just continues to hold the bottom here at 92s. If it comes back up to that 93.50 range, I might take another leg in here. I got 93.5 as my short price. I'd love 95s if I could get them, but beggars can't be choosers. Well, they can. It just won't work.
I was going to say, why not? They can't be.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, they can. It just doesn't work.
It's dangerous. Okay, we did get some Palantir out there at 82. Probably a bad move. I've no more. I don't want to, I gotta be truthful here. I don't have any more offers now. I just canceled one. I did have one at 85 right here. We're gonna wait until we get back over 90s now. I'm gonna put some more bids on the downside here of PLTR. And again, you know, I've sort of switched up my game, if you guys can tell. Like, I'm trying to stay with the names that I know are working and that I have good reads on, that I've done the work with. So again, like, I'll put this up for you guys, but I mean, these are the lists here. Everything that I have on this list I've traded today. We do miss that square trade. I'm glad Neil at least put some equity into it. Regardless of the result, it doesn't matter. The 250 was there. We both talked about that blew off, right? I mean, let's go. Let's just take a
most disappointing winning trade is going to be square today, no question.
The thing is, we missed this really, like, if this happens like at 9:32 or something like that, then Neil and I both probably have this. But right off the open, that's a hard trade for us to get when we're into so many other things. So it's not an excuse. It's just I don't want to take, and I talked about it, I don't want to take breakouts off the open, and that was one of them. And I mean, look, we cashed out. That's exactly what we did with Neo. We waited for it to fall. It just square today takes off. Brendan at the big screen. This is a different name here. That's not a small cap, but let's go over and have a look at this name. What is it? Is it AMC?
Yes, it's AMC. Let's go. Small caps. AMC. Yeah, I noticed right out of the gate this morning, big flush on AMC to the downside. So at some point, if you look at the daily chart, this is setting up in kind of a wedge, looking like it might want to test lower prices for AMC. So we'll see Might not be today, but at some point. SFET, the other one, Safety Group, will revisit this if we get to 180. Otherwise, we're not really doing a heck of a lot right now, just kind of consolidating around day lows. So volume needs to come back on that one. IMMP, take your pick. Any level worked great this morning on the IMMP. 375 was a bit of a pivot on the daily chart, but we're down to 330 here. Again, volume kind of lagging, guys, for some of these small caps today. Back over to you.
5 billion AMC, big time mover. Now, okay, Rice. I saw some people in there. Neil Rice is going to be a short at 14. Look, I don't think you've seen a situation where either one of us has been in less than 3 or 4 positions in the morning. You're not going to catch absolutely everything, so you get your attention over to what is working for you, and you try to stick to that. And I've gotten away from having 8 or 9 positions, which sometimes it's pretty manageable, but I have felt that sometimes when you're trading something like the CCL, like the bottom pick, or you're working into a Tesla, it's just a little more difficult to catch all these moves. 14 was a short, but look at this pre-market. Look at this pre-market level just before 9 o'clock, or just at 9 o'clock, I should say, right into like 9:20 or so, holding this 13 even on Rice. And so you do get that flush through, like you guys or some of you guys were talking about here, and then it's been holding this 13 area. So I actually like a 13 breakdown here on Rice if I can catch it. This is your SPAC of the day. Selling off on the news, and I finally got into some more sundial. So I'm gonna, it took some more shares at 93.5. I really like 95 better, but I'm gonna sort of short any kind of pop that I can get, and I'm gonna short a breakdown in Rice at 13. It has to break 13 for me to get it.
All right, we're just going to, we say like a glove, and we just tweet that out because look at Palantir, like what else? Again, I mean, what else can we do here? Buy, bang. I mean, let's get some love on the chat for this Palantir call. I mean, I hope you guys are liking this. Ether breaking out right now. I see that note there. Thank you, Stefan, for that one right here. Ether breaking out and BTC. You could trade ETHE. We've been doing a little bit of that. BTC rocketing right now. No idea what is going on. My pick. Look at Palantir, though. Let's go. Spit the money. Like, are you guys trading this with me or what? Like, how much love do we have on this chat for Palantir? Or maybe we don't have any at all. My last long-term buy, 2187, but I'm making so much more money just trading this every day for you guys. So I hope you could join the club and start to trade it with me. Not only is that one making money, but here we come. Get ready for a crash landing that hasn't happened yet because NEO right now is high side, baby. 3870. NEO just continues to run. Look at the trades we've had on so far today. Apple, bang, 128, 129, easy cash. NEO right here, 50 cents now into the money. We've traded some Ether. We've talked about that. Palantir now big time into the money. Twitter now. We've averaged in, but this was a good trade for us now into the money. We have no negative stocks today. So what that means is the King has returned. Jerry the King Lawler. We like Jerry the King Lawler from WWE days. But yeah, good one. We like that one as the Wiz. You guys like the Wiz or the King better? Let me know here on the chat. Here goes Twitter, though. Let's take a little bit off. We're at 69.90. If we can get back to 70, man, I'll take the dime on half of what we have left and then see if we can't test view up again.
And what was the line? It's like, oh my goodness, he's killed him. Anyways, he's one of the greatest calls of all time by the King himself, Jerry the King Lawler. CCL, look, I said I was going to hold for that break, get that VWAP break. It tries to take it out there, 30, goes a couple of pennies. I get some out at 28.30. Look, if you're going to get like a 40 penny winner here off the bottom on CCL, you got to take it. So I'm literally down to almost nothing here. If I can get another reload in front of 28 and we can hold the line there, I'll jump back into the shares to the long side. But it is what it is. It was one of the weaker names in the overall market, so I had to play it with a little bit of caution. So, I don't want to throw caution to the wind when it comes to that CCL trade. Just to come back over to Rice if I could. Rice, there you are. Oh no, it is New York. I had it right the first time. No break at that 13 even. I actually don't want to even fade into this one at 14. It's basically going to be the 13 even break or nothing for me. I'm going to check out the WPG stock scanner if I can in just a quick second, but have to cover a couple of other names that we've been in already. And I talked about Tesla. Didn't catch that 685 break, which stinks. Of course, 687 is where it goes to. So look, I take it off a little bit early. Don't get the reload position. It didn't give you the bounce. Anticipating it was going to roll over when the market was testing that low, and I get a bit of a dip buy. It worked the first time. I don't get it the second time through, and it does go to that 687. When you get nimble, take some shares off so you can buy back in, sometimes you're going to miss out on that dip buy if it never happens, so holding would have been good. The first time through was the right call. The second time it turns out to be wrong. I'm going to be up on Tesla either way. Just noting here that we did get a move into that price target at 687, so I have to make sure I file that away. Even though I didn't hang on to the shares, it did turn at the price that I was anticipating, at least for now. Things could change in a few seconds with Tesla. It could be right back to those 75 to 80s that we got it before.
Yeah, happy WrestleMania weekend to everybody as well. I actually went to the WrestleMania with a bunch of buddies and some family as well when it was here at Rogers Center, formerly known as Skydome. And it was honestly, it's like one of the best WWE moments. It was Hulk Hogan faced The Rock at that point, and that's when Hogan was heel. Like, it was amazing. And then you had Ric Flair versus Triple H. Okay, this is a trading show. Oh, with that being said, I haven't watched wrestling in decades. I shouldn't probably say that, but I try to catch it. I don't know who's going to win. I saw Edge was back. I actually pulled out my Edge T-shirt when he won the Royal Rumble. It had holes in it. It's literally from like 98 or 97, something like that. Here's WWE, though, not moving on anything WrestleMania, it looks like, but nice little upside move there. WWE has that WWE TV. Who is that? Oh, that's Greg. I thought that was Arun in the building again. Okay, $60 coming through. WWE, nice little bottom spot there. We're not going to trade this, only 77,000, but yeah, we like it. What's up, Ben?
All right, infrastructure spending going towards charging stations for EV companies. Blink Charging having quite the day here. A couple of things to note. Blink Charging to deploy charging ports at 4 Brothers Pizza Inn locations. I assume that's a great story. New York EV infrastructure also coming through, bolstering, as I said, their business. So Blink, yeah, we should have talked about this one, guys. Big move today, through 45 now on Blink.
I saw this GRWG. I just want to talk about this quickly, Neil. What's up to Nino there? Yeah, you are damn right. I'm still long this name, $17, $18. I never got out of GRWG, so that's been a big name. We talked about this one back down here when it was election time, and I said that, rather than putting your money into some of these dead cannabis names, it seemed like at the time anyways, we went with Grow Generation, and yeah, big time move to the high side. Like, feels stupid being long 16, 17 and not getting out up here. Honestly, I still have some of these shares, all of them. So I think this is a good time to get out, especially if we touch 55, anything. I mean, I'll probably get out some after the show ends today because that's a nice move up, 9 plus 10% and going on. So GRWG, a good name there. Thanks for bringing that up, Nino.
And wow, Blink, obviously Grow's moving. Blink on the move, which we definitely should have been an infrastructure play that we covered here. We talked a little bit about the charging notion. You look at this 45 top, which is it's in the midst of taking out. This goes back to April 1st, so no April Fool's joke. If you ended up buying that top, you're right back in the money. So sometimes I anticipate that you can get some resistance here in the market. Still teetering off that 13.7 over in the NASDAQ. That's what I happen to be watching. If this is where it starts to roll over, I know this is a good play, and actually, I kind of like the idea behind this in Blink, but I look at a level like that, I'm going to take a shot. If we get back below 45, I'm going short. Give it to the high of the day. Just looking back at that 15-minute chart in the daily, I can't ignore it. Brendo?
Right, 10:30, guys. Coming up, speaking of cannabis, we're going to have another great guest coming through in about 45 minutes. Yeah, Gauge Growth coming through. We're going to talk to Fabian, the CEO in the cannabis space, guys. Stick around for that coming up at 11:15. It is 10:30 now. That means there's an hour left in the session over in Europe. What is up in Europe, Miss V?
Hey Brandon, European markets are positive following a rise in the US stock futures. Technology investor Prosus NV trading in Holland is up around 1% after it sold 2% of China's Tencent holdings for $14.7 billion. Back to you.
Yeah, a lot of deal making of some sort all around global markets today, guys. We are positive, but only just, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, the NASDAQ's pretty good. I'm still on Grow Generation here. I want to check back on Apple. Yeah, the markets are pretty crazy. Blink, a good one. Let's check out Facebook. Some people messaging me. Let's go on Facebook here. Yeah, what is up? I don't know, Brendan, if this is a different kind of story today for Facebook. We haven't really covered that much, and we're right at this 310. I think this is definitely worth a buy here. Yesterday's bottom, 310. I mean, the bottom was off the open. We talked about that 305 yesterday. But let's see if it can hold this 310 area. Maybe even 309.50 to the low side here. But maybe Facebook takes off. I don't want to take any breakouts because it's obviously breaking down. So if we're going to do anything, we're going to go short on Facebook if we play breakouts. But that 310 was just held. So this may be worth a little small long now. See what happens at 310 and then even lower off yesterday's number. That's 309.50, which was right here. So we'll see. But I'm going to take a dip now, a dip buy in FB.
Yeah, and I talked about a couple of ideas for GameStop. Look, obviously they never came to fruition. It never tested that. It never tested that top. It's only come to the downside. There hasn't been a shot to short any of the levels that I had mentioned clearly. So it is what it is. It's starting to come back in now. At least it's testing the pre-market lows here at 174. I actually think it has a decent chance if it bounces off that. I can maybe expand the horizons a little bit, and that would mean shorting back into this 183 to 185 range if it pops here. So if it holds the line at this little bid here from the pre-market, I'd look to short into any kind of weakness it gets. Did I get Blink? I actually did not get the fill on Blink as it just broke that 45. So let's see if I can't get into position on that particular name. No, it's not New Zealand. I don't even have entitlements for New Zealand. Why does that even come up? But anyway, so it just broke that 45. Blink, my chart will load here. Nope. It just froze there for me, guys. I got my level 2 up here. You can take over a second. I got to get this short. I want to get this 45 break and Blink is what I'm sort of getting at, and the 10-cent spread right now.
Okay, yeah, I mean, sometimes we are having, this is the thing. We have absolutely great software, great charting software. Just we're flipping from so many stocks to stocks to stocks and all the data that's coming in. So you just got to be careful sometimes. And Neil and I will have each other's back when that does happen. Okay, so 310.50. So here we go. I mean, let's do it again. I don't know what's going to happen now with Facebook, but thanks for bringing it to my attention. I mean, I'm a Facebook bull, but lately it hasn't been trading great. But let's just see if it picks up again right now. So we're long at 310. I mean, this right now, a beautiful trade, I guess. 28 pennies now in the money on this Facebook. And then just to catch up with you guys, Palantir has just right back to VWAP, like buy. And I actually tweeted at Jim Carrey. I said, like a glove. That's how we've been playing Palantir lately, man. Off, on, it fits well. If it don't fit, you must have quit. So we are giving Palantir a buy recommendation down here at 22.70. We've done that a couple times now today, and it's just been great. We actually let this one fall into us here as the NASDAQ pummeled down. We waited for that trade. So that was a good one, man, and then we clean that up right now. Unfortunately, I'm down to 10%, guys. I'm down to 10%. I've just been getting out at VWAP. You could see here, these are 20, 40, 60, 80s. And then now we're just taking out little pieces, trying to hold something for the end of this. So we'll wait to see if it breaks out again. But with the futures coming back down, it's not looking great for that one. So we'll wait on Palantir, guys. But I'm very, very light. Put some more bids downside. You okay now there, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, so got some things reloaded in there. So a couple of things happened at the same time. Like one, I was flipping through stocks like fast, had a bit of a freeze on Blink, and then at the same time, we had to pay for shorts on Blink charging. So I actually got the locates and rebooted the charts there very quickly. So I got some shares into Blink. It came down. Now we're testing back towards that high. I'll round into a few more here, and a couple of things. I'm going to go to Brendan in a quick second, but a couple of things moving. CCL back down to 28. I'm going to reload in front of 28. Someone was asking about that. Yes, and I am in the process of getting more shares into Sundial to the short side. Brendo?
Let's do this first.
Bang.
Actually. Where's my screen? Let's do this first, guys. Early look. Neil, you were unsure about this one, but our boy Corey Connors on the first page of the leaderboard there.
Didn't take him though.
I called Corey Connors.
I thought you were trying to trick me into taking some guy I didn't know. Like, what do you want, man? Like,
Let's go, Justin Thomas. Let's go.
It's the first round. Never mind. Let's talk about trading. Very. I think the algo's finally figured out that very is not very. Just broke 19, guys. Straight through to 17. Big flush there on very, which is not very, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if we ended up getting the locates on that one, but I dug into some Sundial here. Like I said, I would. I actually finally got some at that 95 range, but not nearly enough. That ends up being like a partial fill up here, so I had to take some more at 94. I only end up with a 94 price, which, as I'm trying to round into it, I'd like this to be like a 94 half, ideally, is sort of what I'm getting at, and I couldn't get enough shares up at the top there. So if it comes back down, I'll start getting out. This is where I was getting most of the bunch out, was like 92 to 92.50. As this goes on, just gonna show you here. I had my initial short in the pre-market here. Bit of a test fill. I got in and out flat. I was like, what am I doing? Let's just get into this one, 99s, 99 half. And that's all I had as it went down. I couldn't get anything until 93 half. I was not aggressive enough on all those rollovers. Now we actually finally get a push back into VWAP. So I'm back into Sundial after taking a little bit of a hiatus. I don't think I got the, I can tell you right now, I don't think I got that CCL reload. No, I did not. But Blink, on the other hand, I did it again. Blink, on the other hand, no, don't
Just
do
come
this.
over here, it's fine.
Yeah.
Facebook right now, guys.
Come on.
Hit the sirens, man. We're out early, but hey, we went long at 310.50. We got out at 20 there, so that's a quick 70 cents. Should have held it, but that's what we're doing here on the show, man. A quick little scalp there. So you know what? As long as this keeps happening,
We have something here.
eventually we'll catch all that money. We'll get in and out of Facebook there. A beautiful quick scalp there. We talked about taking that trade. And then there's Palantir again. The money coming through, man. We'll wait for a reload downside. Don't know if that's going to happen. Let's put an order right here like 86, 87. Get a little more aggressive on that reload. But we're at 3 times daily goal now. 3 times daily goal. So the cowbell is on today. Absolutely no losing stocks on board right now. We can review if you want. Here's Apple right now, high side. Beautiful trade there. Long. You can't even see where we're long. We're long down here, 128.50. That was a great trade. You just saw me crush that Facebook. This is why you get out. Great trade on Facebook. 70 cents now in the money off NEO. Find me a loser. Palantir's right here as well. I found one. We're holding it right now, but we're not negative on this stock. We're going to give it all the way back down to here. Yeah, 69.40 right now on Twitter. This is not a losing position for me. I can get out at 69 and still be a winner, but we're going to use this 69.40 as the bottom. Sorry, Neil, what was that?
You guys know my two, Li Auto and Hall of Fame. I got both those ones, and I'm going to go old school here. And the reason I'm going to go old school is because where is it? Oh, it didn't even. Is mine not even working? Oh, I can't even. You kidding me? I'll go with the Brendan Lamb. No, I wanted to get the dancing. I wanted to get the little dancer, the belly dancer, and whatnot.
I don't have.
It didn't work, so I gotta go. I gotta go with. I think I know why it doesn't work, Rob. I'm pretty sure I remember why. Anyways, we'll go with the Brendan Goat here. Blink. There's the rollover I was telling you guys about. I got 80s. So that's thank you, Day Trade the World. That was how fast I was able to get the locates when I didn't do my due diligence and check out on them when they were making the move at 9:30. Either way, halfway to VWAP here, got a 50-cent rollover. If it breaks 44s, we'll hang on to the rest, see if we can't get a bigger win. I talked a little bit about the couple of losses. That's why you stay away from like you bad read on those two. I haven't gone back to Hall of Fame Entertainment. I haven't gone back to Li Auto, and I have no reason to even do so. Blink, nice little reversal trade. Sometimes that's what you got to do. You miss the breakout, look for the turn. You can get just as good of a trade. You guys are going to the big screen right now for Brendan and Sector Watch.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the S&P 500, see what's in charge so far today. We are higher, as I mentioned, but only just 0.25%, all because of energy stocks. Big move to the downside. Also some weakness in the consumer discretionary group. We've had a lot of strength over the past couple of days from the travel-related names. Bit of a pullback today, but yeah, it's all about this group here. Energy stocks all to the downside, with crude oil today moving lower as well. So bit of weakness coming here. I just saw this one. Yeah, Discovery, Viacom again today. 3 or 4 days in a row, 3.5% for Discovery. Viacom, 2.5%. In negative territory. But have a look at NCLH, 4.5% to the downside today. RCL, CCL here as well. MGM, worth noting, in positive territory. Some of the hotels showing some relative strength. Relative strength from Etsy, again, 3.25% in positive territory. Banks are also weak here, mostly from the insurance companies and the individual names. Some strength coming from the diversified group. Information technology stocks, pretty much all in positive territory. That's why we saw that big move from the NASDAQ and basically nothing else. Rest of this board, fairly uneventful. Constellation Brands did report 5.2% to the downside for STZ. Guys, back to you.
I was just getting ready, kicking the feet up here, because this is what's happening right now, man. Look at Palantir. I mean, we're back upside now. We don't have too many shares left, but we're at 23 even right now as it just continues to go to the high side now. And like, I don't know. This has just been such a good trade. We're up decent amount. We don't show our P&L, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what's good, so we'll wait on that one. And then NIO, man, all the way to the high side now, 38. Like, you can't trade this really. The only thing is I should have averaged in here a little bit more, and that's the one thing that we're talking, or averaged up, I guess. That's the one thing that I'm working on. Like, we always talk about this with traders and what you're trying to do, right? And that is that, you know, how do you get better? And what I've done lately is I'm just trying to take, like, you know how many trades I have today? Like, under 100 fills. Like, normally, if you guys been watching this show, there's been times when I've asked this question and it's like 300, 400 fills because I'm trading more like a maniac. Instead, I'm waiting for key levels. Okay, we're waiting for these, we're trading the right stocks, and we're putting our money into the names that we like at the right price levels, and we're just putting more into them. So we're trying to take advantage of some of these moves. If the market keeps going up like this, we're gonna make a lot of money together. I'm a bull, I'm a bear too, I just haven't shorted anything today. But we like to trade price action. If Neil and I, if we can get this market going like the way it's been going now, NASDAQ up a couple percentage points or down a couple percentage points, it really, for us, it doesn't really matter. We just got to pick the right opportunities and give them to you guys, not just on our watch list, guys, but, watch us at 8:30. We're coming back at 3:15 every day as well. So yesterday we talked about some forward-looking plays at the 3 o'clock show, and we want you guys to join today. We had about 2,500 viewers or so yesterday, but that's great for our second day. So tell your kids, tell your friends, everything. Let's get some more love for that afternoon show. We're coming back today, 3:15. Tons of action here. Neo high side, Palantir just broke through 23. So we're super happy with the way the trading's been for us today and all week.
Here in Blink, and I'll tell you right now, I'm not paying for the shorts in that VRY already made a bit of a move to the downside, as Brendan showed you guys, so it's a little expensive. It's like 50 cents a share for a $17 stock, or at least it was 17 bucks. So I'm going to walk away from that one. I don't like the risk to reward of paying for that short. I've already gotten back into some Blink here, and I got some shares here on a pop into 45.07. I scalped once for 50 pennies. I'll go ahead and try to do the exact same thing. If it breaks the high of the day, fair enough. We'll basically be flat on the trade at that point. I do want to come back over to where is it? Where's my sundial? I want to come back over to sundial. Rounds out. Actually might give me a shot. Now, of course, I was looking at that 94.5. It's just basically teetering right around that level. I do have some bids this time to get out in the low 93s, of course, but the long grid holds its consolidation. I might actually dig into a few more shares and go like tighter. If I can get like a 94.5 price, I can go tight stop 95. And then if it breaks that, just be like, okay, fine. If it flushes people out, I'll load up at 96, 96.5. As it gets to lunchtime, you start thinking about a stock like that 1 penny range, or maybe like that 2, 3, 4, 5 cent range, instead of the flush that you got from $1, all the way down into like 90 even, that 10% move might not be coming again. If it does, fantastic. If it doesn't, I want to be prepared to take more shares for smaller moves. Still waiting for Rice to take out that 13. It holds. I only wanted to short if it could take 13. That hasn't happened. I said I was not going to take a short into any kind of a pop here because that's too strong of a hold for me to want to fade into it. It's only if it breaks that low. I'm going to keep going with it. At this point, unless we're below 13.50, I don't want my stop order to be in. So if it gets down towards my price, then I like it a little bit better. If it races in a full dollar or 10% move into a break, I don't like shorting that kind of a move. It's kind of too far too fast. I'd rather it off consolidation than a breakdown. So for now, my stop is gone on Rice. If we break down below VWAP and hold, I'll throw it right back in.
So it looks like we're getting some love here backside now for Twitter. It's ripping. The NASDAQ's ripping. We talked about this all day and every day. We love this move. Nice little move to the back. We should have just averaged in there. We were lazy and we didn't do that. That's on me. But Shakib, what's up, my friend? We said we talk about this. It's Hydration Nation, guys. Stay hydrated. Thank you for your kind words. I'll pass it on to my wife using some nice, cream, trying to look a little bit younger. I just turned 25, so Trader Nation stays alive with Hydration Nation. So let's keep that going right there. Shout out to you, Shakib. You've been a Hydration Nation member since the jump. So Brendan brought us AMC. Anyways, I put an order on offer just shy of 70 here on Twitter, just to round out the perfect day so far. AMC coming through. We talked about that 10 level yesterday. We smashed that level yesterday on the show. You guys saw that, but unfortunately, nothing really happened when we smashed it. It went down through 10. It hovered around, went back to the upside, and we were never in trouble. We wound up taking some out. It was a very, very profitable name, and I should have came back to it today because it gave, this is what Brendan was talking about, it gave that same level, but it just gave it early, just right off the open, smashing through $10. Oh man, I wish that was on my watch. It was not. AMC, that would have been one that's taken out as well. But the problem with Hydration Nation is sometimes you got to take a break. So take it over, Neil.
Yeah, and I was sitting there and I was like, why didn't I get that CCL? I was so convinced that I was going to get that passive bid down at like 28.03, and I didn't get it, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. Like, I might have to put one in there at like 28.05, 06. I want to be buying that dip if I can. I haven't gotten any more out because it hasn't broken VWAP. I haven't gotten any more in. We did get that bottom, and it was really more about anticipating. Just going a couple sessions ago, guys, just going back to this like double, 2780 area that we talked about. So 28 was a good level. I wanted to give it room through that price. I think we could get the same thing again here, but you're only going to buy the lows for so many times before you realize that it's a downward trending stock. I like that level on CCL. I might have to go to that 28.05, 06 if I do want to catch that dip. Hisham, I think, was one of our members asking in the chat, are you shorting Blink again? Off that high of the day, so rinse and repeat action. Yep, sure I am. I just got double top here. My price can be 45.16, but I wanted to make sure I got back into the amount of shares that we had when it got down to that 44.30. I still have bids higher than that last dip price. Look, it's an upward trending stock. It could break out through that high. I want to make sure we have a tight stop in. You don't want to take that hit by holding through and being stubborn. At least that's not the way that I would approach it. So I've gone ahead and make sure I adjusted my stop to be right at that top and that high a day. I will get more out if it goes all the way down to VWAP. That 44 even is a fantastic target. If you get $1 on a retracement like this, you're going to be happy with it. That'll be reserved for like a quarter or a third of the shares at absolute max. I actually still hold some of this Occugen. Never got anything out at 665 at the bottom here. Check that, 666 is low of the day on Occugen. That's a little bit ominous. If this one wants to give me any chance to pop back up into the 90s, I'm going to be shorting this one again, getting back into some shares. The only prices I've shorted are up in the teens, the 30, and then that 7 even breakdown, which I like to short any pop into that 90 to 97, 98 range. Brennan?
Another one that was on the list this morning, AstraZeneca, guys, gave you that same kind of fade move right at the open all the way down to 49.50. Coming back into that level again. Volume, it's not the greatest today, but up significantly still for AZN, even with that story from Germany today, guys, for AstraZeneca.
I was long that name, $54, and dumped it when we realized that vaccines was not going to be a profitable venture. So, no surprise there, but we can take a quick look at some levels for AZN because, it was on our watch list and we talked about why. So let's just, come on, it's NQ. Let's go charts. Okay, AZN, AstraZeneca here, fading out. We kind of knew that, but it was a big start to start the day here, up to 50. Like, if you can't short $50, then you have to, pick lower levels, but that 50 was just genius there. It was too early in the morning. That's sort of what I was getting at there, unless you want this 91, 92. And then as you come into liquidity, like if you like a 50 short, you really should have been short here, 49 and change. So now that we're coming down on AstraZeneca, we can look back yesterday's. We still need to come out. So 49, like I'm not going to get long this thing until we come back down to 49 and we see what happens. So good little look there for AZN. Good volume, 5 million shares today. What is SOS doing right now? It's going off. It looks like that's a New York stock. We talked. Okay, there it is. $5.20 right now, 40 million shares. Yesterday on the afternoon show, we looked at it. We had that runner yesterday. And remember yesterday, this is so stupid. Like we can't hold anything overnight, which is good that we can't because yesterday we were waiting for this pop. Remember through 6, we were buying here yesterday on this dip in the afternoon show, 570, 560 off of this level, popped up. We did get some out in the 80s, but today fading back in and now 520. So watch SOS to hold $5. Technically, this looks strong, but remember, there's a lot behind this name. There's Reddit, there's a few different things. So I don't know if you could trust it as a company, but you definitely want to play it for the momentum.
Yeah, I'm going to 1 for 2 on that Blink trade. Just want to show you guys, show you the winners and losers. I can show you on the 15-minute chart so you can see that previous level, that 45 top. First time we get the scalp trade out. Get back into it off a high of the day. High of the day was my out. You can see I just got taken out. And it looks like it's a bit of a fail reversal. So what's going to happen to you? It's not top wick. That's about the only thing good I can say about that exit there. So it is coming back in. And it's going to be one of those, if you have a stop, that's the risk. Every now and then you say to yourself, I think it's got the feels for a failed breakout, for a failed break. And if I'm confident about that, then what I'll end up doing is one of two things. I'll either load back into just showing you Sundial because that's what I think here. So I got into some more shares of Sundial. If it breaks the 95, allow it to break. and then if it breaks and then comes right back down, then basically you'd go full size, whatever your max would happen to be on the south side of that fail break at 95. I didn't have that feeling with Blink. Why? Because it's strong and Sundial's been weak for the most part. But if I did, that's what I would have done in Blink. I've done it over here, and I'm doing so in Sundial. It's already 10:50. Oh my goodness, the show is flying by. Time for Money Talks with Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, pretty positive day in currency and crypto land. We'll have a look at what is moving around so far today. The only two in negative territory here, the Japanese yen and Swiss franc to the downside versus the US dollar. A little bit of volatility coming off once again. Going back a week or so ago, I mentioned this 92 area. This is the dollar index, DXY. You can have a look at it. We're coming back into this area on the US dollar and trying to hold. It's actually stronger today, but so is pretty much everything else. The euro, 0.25%, the Canadian dollar, 0.1% to the upside. Same story for the British pound. Australia, New Zealand also nicely higher. Mention those kind of together because they trade very similarly. Turkish lira up 0.24%. Yeah, all of the cryptos on here. About 2% outside of Ripple, 5.5% today for Ripple. Bitcoin trying to get back to 58,000 once again, guys. Back over to you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Ripple. I mean, Ripple down there, 95, 96. We talked about that. Good one. XRP. There's not too much to trade. Oh, BTCC.B. That's what I meant to talk about that before. There's a couple options if you are looking at, where to trade Bitcoin. If you wanted something in a registered account, BTCC.B for me is the best choice for anybody. And if you wanted it, it basically follows it 1-to-1 as far as I can see. I've been tracking it. And if you are, I don't know if we have the quote. No, we don't because it's US funds, but you can get .u into BTCC.B is the name of the game there. And you can see, I mean, it's a brand new, it's the Purpose ETF. Supposed to go 1-for-1 for Bitcoin, and I think it's very, very close. Like this top is 60,000, so we'll wait to see. It's tested it a couple times. Obviously, we dipped down to 54, 55 there, and so you could see if you did want something that was more into the Bitcoin game. I like BTCC more than any of those other ones, Riot, Mara, etc., because those are more stock-based. They can reissue shares. They can go. I mean, you've seen what happens, offerings, things like that. So this is not going to have any offerings. It's just going to follow Bitcoin. So for the safest crypto name, in my opinion, hop over. Hopefully you guys can trade on the TSX. If you can, and you only have US funds, it's .u, not .b.
Yeah, and it finally has happened here, and I'm sort of with you there. It's just such a good safe play, safe way to play in that space. I finally get the reload. I actually took it a couple times because I had the wrong size in there at 05, take some more at 03s, and this is once again CCL testing low. I can tell you though, the market trying to roll back, at least the ES back to flat, and the NASDAQ testing back to that 13.7 level. What I like about this setup is I actually don't mind taking this out at 28, and then if I do, I'm essentially risking a few pennies and then jump right back in if we hold that 27.80. At this time of day, I'd rather take the small paper cut and look for a re-entry, especially when we've seen some reluctance to head back to the upside on CCL. So we've already banked some profit here. It's already been a good one. I'm going to go with a tighter stop on this trade and then look for a retest of that low at 27.80. Still have the same target. Take some out in front of you up in those teens and then hopefully get to that 28.50. Miss V at the big screen.
Hey Neil, traders on the chat talk about skill stock. It's down around 4%. And do you see any opportunities for yourself, guys, or you would stay away from skills today? Back to you.
Who got skills? I got skills. No, anyways, I like dropping lyrics in here every now and then. If you can't tell, skills pay the bills every now and then. That's another horrible line. But anyways, look, it's really, really weak today. Obviously, you can sort of see that. And typically speaking, if I see a chart like this, it's hard not to look at a hard bottom, and we're not there yet. You look at the 1650 area at the low. You already put in a lower low at 1686. If it breaks that 1650, it's just going to be a short. It's that simple. Now, do you like a dip buy? Maybe you do off a level like that. I might think about taking a shot at it, but it would be more about that 1650 breaking when you get a fresh low like that, especially when it's already, if it can't hold a higher low here, and you get a retest of that actual bottom at 1650. That's just going to be a short almost every single time for me. And now that you bring that up, I'm glad I saw it because that might have flopped under the radar for me. If you buy, you have to have a hard bottom at that 1650. I think maybe you can give an extra 15 or 20 cents in case it's one of those failed breaks. And the logic behind that would be someone like me or anyone that likes the short side is trading through that low on the daily. You get in at that 1650. It goes down to like 1630, gets you in the money a little bit. Can't go any further than that. We saw that on Viacom and the hard bottom at 40. Suddenly everyone's running to the exits if it's back at like 17 even. And if you've got yourself along that you gave an extra 15 or 20 cents, well, suddenly you can be back up at like, $18 pretty quickly as the hard shorts have just run for the door. It's been beaten up, you can tell. It's been squashed all the way to the bottom. I like those breakdown shorts on a really, really weak name like this. It's not the same as Viacom because I don't think it's had the same principles in terms of how it got to where it is. And I'd be looking short at 1650, but if you had to have that long, give it some room through that low if you want to be taking it, because nothing worse than getting shaken out of the bottom of a move like that for an extra 15 or 20 cents when the recovery is going to be like $1 almost instantly. So that's what I'd be looking for. It would be a short for me on skills through that 1650. It's just too weak on the daily.
Yeah, good talk there on skills, and thanks for asking those questions, guys. And Valeria will try to judge the feels of the chat and then bring them over to us if there are any other names. So good job on that one. GameStop, let's have a quick look on that. I don't know, do we have to still pay for shorts on GameStop? Maybe we do, I don't have any. So let's take a quick look at this.
We do.
It is dropping down to that 174.50 level. That's been the low of the day. I mean, again, no idea where true value is on this name. We've talked about that over and over again, but all we can do is really look at a longer term time frame and try to find you some key levels to trade off with, as now Neo's still at 50 cents in the money, and there goes Palantir, guys. Wow, 23.05, good move on Palantir. We're still long down here. You can see that on the board. So that is a big trade for us. Okay, here's GameStop, 174. Would rather this thing, if I'm gonna make a decision here, the better short was up here, 179, 180. So we could get there. Let's call back to GameStop quickly there. We could get back to that level, sort of where we dipped off and where we sort of started the day, 177. I mean, we're very close to that right now. It's not moving the way we all know GameStop to move. So I think you got to probably break this bottom, but I would much rather trade it in this 168 area, look to break down from here. I don't know if this 160 holds, man. We did have earnings. We did have a bunch of stuff happening in this play there. So I think this was the earnings day, and actually nothing really happened. Then you got a big move down in the pre-market and then bumped up there. So let's watch to see what GameStop does now. I think we've probably, and again, I know some of you guys are long, but I don't really see us getting back and breaking through 200. There's been a lot of momentum in this name. We've already reported, and now we're heading to the downside. So unless we get some sort of a squeeze again like that, I don't think GameStop's true price really needs to be around 175. Even though you guys may be holders, you could probably admit that. What's up, Brendo?
I just saw this one. Lulu, guys, up today, well off the highs, unfortunately. 314 up there. We're back to 309 for Lululemon. Barclays with positive note, wasn't an upgrade, but positive note on this one regarding the reopening type play, guys.
Lulu, the stock father himself, that was definitely a call of his. This will get interesting here. Big move on Rice, and I was waiting for give me a 13 break. I didn't want to short into it off of that little level. Always wait. When it makes a bottom like that, you've heard me say before, always allow it to test the top. Right, allow it to extend through, and if you can get a short off the top, it's just the risk to reward is going to be much better here. So there was a test. It just tried to get through that 15.45. Now 15.50, I always like to round to because I think it's a much better play to give yourself a little bit more room there. If it comes back halfway to VWAP, you can have a nice trade. But to me, it's always about the risk reward. You've got to make sure you get yourself a good entry price. If you start this, in the low 14s, what are you doing at this point? You're holding $1 against you. I'd rather take the hit here, shorting off 15 and getting out at 15.50 when your upside is actually making $1, then you lose 50 cents or so. So you have to have those types of areas. And again, this is similar to the fail break idea that I talked about at Sundial, and of course in a couple of other names that slip my memory here. If it had come back up through 1550, stall at 16 even on Rice. I'd actually like the re-entry point down around this like 1525. So at this time of day, I'm usually looking for that parabolic move in that can hold the high or fail break through the high. So it doesn't hold the high, we'll take our shot at it, wait for it patiently, and if it comes back in and this is a fail break, oftentimes that can be the top for the rest of the session. And I did get some more sundial. That has the shakeout feels as well. That's why I decided to kick some more shares in front of 95. Look, I might be in that one all day long, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah, let's sip some coffee now because Starbucks right now heading to the high side. I don't have, oh, there it is, stock logos. I push stock logos, guys, and it goes to different things. So we don't have a Starbucks one. But as you guys can see here, Starbucks, like weed Batman, okay. Yeah, I guess if you wanted a drink while you are enjoying some cannabis, maybe you would have a Starbucks, which reminds me, special guest coming up as well to talk everything cannabis and marijuana. Brennan can review that in a couple of seconds. Starbucks taking out the highs. Okay, someone said, and Valeria just messaged me there, messaged us, why are we not asking for likes anymore? So, like, we used to get, 5,000 likes, 4,000. Valeria dyed her hair at 5,000 likes, and Neil shaved his head.
Do I have to shave my head again? Seriously? Like, come on.
No, you don't have to. I'm just saying that's what we did do. So let's get this like going, guys. If we can, please, let's get this to 2,500. I think we can get that right now. I haven't asked for likes in ages. So we're doing the afternoon show. We're here at 8:30. I hope we're making some money for you guys. I know we're making money for us. So let's hit the like button. It's a free show. I don't know any other free shows that do this kind of stuff every single day. You don't even, there's no reason not to hit the like. And if there is, I apologize. But let's hit that like button.
We're drinking cold coffee to stay energized for you guys. That's not
button.
The reason. But.
Yeah, this coffee is cold. Oh, you know what? Yeti. Oh, shout out to OTCX, first of all. Pink Sheets for getting me the Yeti right there. And not only do we like the likes, but this is from Among Us. If you've been here for a while, you know who this is, but my kids gave me this because I'm a Packers fan there. So what is this character called, guys? You will get bonus points. Be quiet, Valeria. This is for the audience. I know you know Valeria. Nice dance there. Valeria, you can say his name whenever you want, but there it is, guys. It is Among Us, and let's see if anybody knows. Valeria knows the name. Maybe I'll wear my cheese head tomorrow.
Uh-oh. The cheesehead coming out there. Someone is a cheesehead, doing a fantastic job on Jeopardy. He's the man. Look, I'm back in it, right? Someone said, is it a good long? I would say if it can break me twice, that's actually not a bad idea, to be honest with you guys. But if I ever see that break, it wicks to the top, fails at 16, I usually jump right back into the same trade. Only this time I actually get a bit of a better price here at 15.38. So a bit of a double dip. Now, if it tries to take that top off again, fair enough. I got some bids down here in case it goes, but I have to get back over as well to CCL. Bounce off 28. I mean, it is what it is. We'll just go once again with some yeehaw action. If we're going to kick it old school talking about lights, let's kick it old school talking about Brendo as well. But he liked country music. I don't know if that's actually true, but it was a myth and a rumor around here. It's a myth that CCL can break through VWAP. I don't know why it can't seem to make the move. It's trying, keep taking profit in the teens on the 28 bounce, and it doesn't want to give me more. I might be in this one for the long haul if it can't make any kind of a move soon, guys. Blink as well through day's high, and I just finished saying that with Rice. That it can break me twice. It might be a bit of a long. Well, yeah. I mean, I got a little bit of a win in the first short and blink. Took it a second time. It didn't work. And now it's trying to trade through the highs of the day, guys. So that's the kind of look you look for. If you're a long side trader, then have an idea. What am I telling you is out for me? Where am I wrong on the stock? What is my read at the top? Where am I back broken? That kind of a thing. And that can be a good spot for some breakout longs, or maybe if it's a good short, a really good one, that's a good place to be taking some profit. So always consider those things, guys. It's all about the learning experience for everybody. We can all do it together.
We're talking about winning all together here. I mean, what else are we going to do? We know what we haven't done yet today? Valeria, do you have any idea what we haven't done yet today? How about this?
Sold. No.
Bang! There it is, Palantir. I don't think we've had a bang yet. And you want the hot dog, Valeria. There it is. There's the hot dog cannon firing off right now. 23.13. Look at Palantir go, guys. We have a small 10% left. We talked about that, emptying some out. We did have some lower bids in the 80s, but there goes Palantir. No chart. For me, looks better than this one. I'll probably just get out right now. I don't know how long this is going to go. We'll get out of some Palantir. We'll top off our day. What a fantastic move that's been. And then there we go. Let's put an offer out on Palantir. Sorry, 13s. We just put an offer out. There it is. There's the fill. Now we are finito on Palantir. Money, 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 money. Okay, that might be one too many monies at the end there. Eddie money there. We're taking it over here. 23-13, a beautiful move there, and we're happy as. I don't know what to say. I was going to say a bad word there, but I don't want to do that. We're very, very happy with the way Palantir's traded. And then you want another one? Let's do it again. Money. And let's get out here on it's not my favorite, but I keep getting comments. People say, oh, the money thing is my favorite. So like I said, any more animation ideas, send them to me. I want to get a People's Champ idea as well. I'm going to talk to Rob about that one, and we'll see if we can get something going with that. So right now, though, Neo, let's get out. I trade around the 75s. Like, we're not trying to hold for the ultimate top of 39, but what a great call that was, 37.50. And again, we'll post this up. Maybe I'll do it right now just to show you, because we've talked about this from 8:30 today. Look at the names on board here. Twitter 70, Neo 38, Apple 129. There's the Palantir love on the downside. There's the Square love. So we've been talking about some of these levels, and no better when you hit it and you're right. So we're really super happy about that one. And then again, Palantir cleaned out at the very top there. That's worth a backflip. Neil could probably do a backflip myself.
It's been a long time since that's been true. So I actually, look, back in the day, I kind of thought I could be like a gymnast when I was younger, but anyways, that's not true anymore, certainly. I would break my back if I did it. There's a battle being waged on Rice here. I got 38s as that short when I took the re-entry. I was going to take one leg out in front of 15s. In front of 15s, and then get some out in front of like that 75. But as it consolidates here, thank you, of course. This doesn't load, so I'll quickly show you guys level 2. As it consolidates here, all I would simply see is it would do this. Break a couple of pennies down, then bam! See that? Like, just slam right back up. The algo bid just comes right back into 15. Can't have any retracement down through it. So I don't want to fight that too hard here. I did take the one hit already on that short. So it's not the end of the world, taking 35 pennies instead of that 40 to 45, especially if you get the feels that it might be a bit of a hairy position. I'm still feeling fail break here on Sundial. So as it tried to break 495, I told you the idea for me would be let it go and then jump right back into some more shares and see if that 96.5 can hold as well. If I turn out to be wrong on Rice and it just flushes from here, I've given up like 15 pennies on a quarter of the position, right? But if it goes to the upside and breaks through that 15.50 top, not giving it to the high of the day after it's hit some targets at this point, I've saved myself some money on the downside. So, and it's still a strong trending stock. It could still bounce off of VWAP. All of that is true. Just have to manage risk at this particular time of day. That's what it's all about. And look, it's been an absolutely fun trading session. That's all I can say about this. Is like the market has been range bound, and we've been able to find stocks that are moving, stick to what is actually actionable. Actually actionable. What am I even? That's ridiculous.
That makes sense to me, no?
It does. Okay, fine. Maybe it makes sense. It does or doesn't. That's why I'm sticking to CCL. I did that the other day and caught CCL longs all morning and then got a reversal. The reversal here would be it finally breaking VWAP, which it just touched. We're still in the money here. Sometimes you can make your entire day trading something like this. Part of me wishes I only traded Sundial and CCL today, but there were lots of other good opportunities. I mean, I'm saying that, but I'm lying, because Square 250 would have been the best one for me. If I gotten that plus the trades we had in Square, that would be fantastic. But we missed that 250. We gave it to you and didn't take it. It happens. You guys now, I think, get to go to my man Brendan at the desk.
Yeah, a couple of people talking about this one, guys. Roblox with a bit of a rip here from 70 up through 71.5 on volume. So 4% for Roblox. I don't see much on this. Morgan Stanley initiated coverage today. That's about it as far as headlines that I can see, but definite volume coming in here for Roblox.
So my kids are now virtual, so I'm going to drop this little link to them. Attaboy, my friend. My kid now in the money now on Roblox. That's the only stock he bought. I got to start him young. 9 years old. He's already asking me about different stocks to buy. And he's the one that got really excited about Discord possibly being bought by Microsoft. Oh, man, Palantir just continues to rip up, man. We are just like backflipping today. This has been a fantastic day. I'm at my highest spot we've been at. I'm up twice as much as I was yesterday at this time. So, yeah, we're happy to say the least with today's performance, that's for sure. And how much more happier would we be if we had still held on to this stupid Facebook? We caught this bottom. Thank you to you guys, to the viewers out there. Brought this to my attention. We hit it. It went in the money 75 cents as soon as I took it and was like, you know what? We're not going to do that. Someone said, I should have said happier than a pig in something, but I'm going to say pig in a blanket. I don't know. Does that make sense? There's those little sausages, I guess they're
I
called.
don't think they're happy.
Little pigs in a blanket. I guess they're not happy. If they're not fried up, maybe. But if they're sitting there in the blanket, I guess they're happy. Check out Palantir, guys. Still, this is what's exciting to me about this, and I'll just talk about it for one last time, as we are going to a very important guest of the day soon. But like 22.75, now that it's going up, I just want to talk about it because the NASDAQ is not going anywhere here. And Palantir is still doing this. That is why I took off that last 10% there, because I can't play the rhetoric about Palantir follows the NASDAQ when the NASDAQ goes down. But this may have changed. So what we do is you put that up here, and which a lot of things go up here and then leave, but we're going to try to keep it there and remember that maybe now Palantir does have enough energy behind it to stay high side even when the NASDAQ goes down. So guys, I mean, if you're playing options or anything like that, Palantir may be a decent look here over the next little while, especially if you do think the NASDAQ is going to go. This is trading more aggressively than the NASDAQ today, and I cannot remember the last time I had to make that comment. So there you go, Palantir. We like ye a lot.
Yeah, and looks like we might have been true about that race, that battle at 15. It looks like the bulls are trying to win it here. I have a different type of stop order that you can actually see displayed here. I just want to show you guys that, like, I don't even want to give this to the actual high of the day. Like I said, it's for me, when I take that secondary fail break short, I'll give it just past that break-even point, like right around that 40. It's that previous high that we got. I end up with 38. It's splitting hairs, 38, 45. So if it does roll over, it's basically held that same price area and then get that flush through 15. That allows me to, sort of manage risk. If I don't average into it, it also gives me the opportunity to take a breakdown. So 15 area breaks, and I can add to my position at like a 1480 a little bit more safely, use a tighter stop, maybe the top end of this range of like 15, 16, 15, 25, something along those lines. So that's what I'm thinking here with Rice. I don't need to get too active in the top end of the range, averaging into it or working into too many shares. I can tell you CCL is being a bit of a pain in the butt, but on that Roblox, sorry, I just want to come to that if I could for like a quick second. Of course, it's on New York. If it's like a tech stock or like a gaming stock and it's 4 digits or 4 letters, I always think it's going to be NASDAQ. Roblox a bit of a frustrating because it's like today is the day that you finally make that secondary push. It's like, why was I not paying attention to Roblox? We talked about 2 things. We love 70. We love 73. Every single time it would stall off of that 73 area, you take those reloads. It finally gives you like a capitulation sort of breakdown in yesterday's action, which of course I wasn't here for the close for that, which kind of stinks. But it bounces back, holds the line right here, resisting that same 70 level. I'll show you on the 1 minute chart. Resisting that 70 level in the morning, and then gives you that 1030 breakout at 70, which was the price we were talking about on Roblox previously. So a bit of a miss there. It's one of those take a name that you like in the near term, you take it off your list and you do it at your own expense. If you like a name, you think it's interesting, don't just follow it for 1 day. Don't just follow it for 2. Keep it on the board. Check it every single morning to see if you like some levels with it. Stick with those. That's what you're seeing with CCL for us. That's what you see with Sean with Palantir and Neo. And that's what we've sort of been adjusting to. There's always going to be something new in play. But don't throw out those dependable stocks, those dependable levels that you love as Roblox pulls off like $1.50. If it shows me 70 in the afternoon, you'll probably be seeing me trade that at 315. Oh, come on, okay. There we go, Rice.
Yeah, Roblox still going. I was just checking back on Neo right now, 38.90 right now, upside. We did get out there on some consolidation. Now it's taking out the top. This is all
ranting.
Like, it's very strange to me because a lot of these names are continuing to go without even the NASDAQ going. So some of these names are just like Apple. Okay, Apple not going. So this is a very, very interesting one to me. We talked about this early. This is why we bought Apple on this dip. It shows weakness all the time, and I don't really know why. We had the good news about Apple TV or Apple News today, and it hasn't taken off. We're still up that 1%. So Apple, the sleepy one for me. I'd be buying Apple on any weakness, but that's always the case. So today, that's a funny one. Let's see what Apple does tomorrow, and especially throughout the afternoon. And we'll look at this when we get back on our afternoon. I keep saying evening, afternoon show. Brendan, though, right now ready with our guest of the day.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks so much. Another exciting guest of the day today. I'm really happy to have Gage Growth Corporation coming through. As far as cannabis stocks are concerned, it seems like every other day there's some sort of exciting news in this space that continues to grow on a daily basis. Gage Growth Corporation, a recent addition to that. Fabian Monaco is CEO of Gage Growth Corporation, joins us on the show today. Great to have you, Fabian. Welcome. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the company. Give everyone a little bit of an introduction to start. Tell us about Gage Growth, where it came from, where the concept came from, and how it started.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot for having me on. Gage is solely focused on the Michigan market. Michigan is one of the larger markets in the U.S. right now for cannabis consumption, catapulted itself to a top 6 markets, top 6 state in 2020. We're seeing tremendous growth in 2021. Really feel that, Michigan's going to be a top 5 market this year for the full calendar year. Gage is one of the larger vertically integrated operators in Michigan right now. We have, cultivation, processing, and retail. We've partnered with best-in-class brands, especially Cookies out of California, and really taking the Michigan market by storm right now and seeing some great results from an operational standpoint.
It's interesting. We've had guests in the past talk a lot about the California market. Tell us why Gage specifically focused on Michigan.
Yeah, so it's funny, Michigan doesn't get a lot of love in the market just yet. There are not a lot of publicly traded companies that follow, the Michigan market. We are one of them. We're heavily, obviously, involved in that market. Michigan boasts historically the second largest medical cardholder system in the U.S., only behind California. In 2020, Florida overtook Michigan. Michigan also went into its adult use market in 2020. So you start to see, some of the medical numbers drift off. So you have this massive underlying base of medical patients in Michigan, still 245,000 strong. It's funny, actually, Michigan has the same number of medical patients as the whole country of Canada. And so obviously, with this base, Michigan really got to explode as a market in 2020 when it introduced adult use sales on December 1st, 2019.
Monaco, CEO of Gage Growth Corporation. You mentioned a fully integrated top to bottom producer and also on the retail end of things. We'll get into that in a second here. But for anyone who might be not familiar with what that means exactly, walk us through the process here, right from growth to retail. What is involved in that?
Yeah, so when you're a vertically integrated operator in the cannabis business, you essentially control the product from seed all the way to smoke for that consumer. And we manage that whole process. And when you are also vertically integrated, it allows you to control the growth of your brand and how your brand is received from consumers. So, it's great to grow good quality product, but you want to make sure that the retailers that are selling that product are telling the right story. They have the good narrative. They're actually explaining to the consumer what makes your brand so special. We get to control that whole process. We actually don't even sell much wholesale as a business. We like to funnel everything to our retail. We sell out of the product every time we put it on our shelves. We're one of the top brands in Michigan. We sell for some of the highest price points. When you actually have a scenario where you get to control that process throughout the supply chain, throughout the value chain, it really, gives you an opportunity to become a true brand in the space.
All right, let's go to cultivation now. We'll talk about that sort of phase of the process as we move towards the retail side of things. Really impressive growth when it comes to cultivation. The company's grown by 4 times on its processing facilities. What has been behind the rapid expansion of the cultivation side of things?
Yeah, when you look at our operations from 2020, it really only tells you, frankly, a quarter of the story right now. We were operating two small facilities for the majority of 2020. Now have catapulted ourselves to about 8 different facilities across Michigan that is growing, that are growing Gage products. So for us, we were able to, again, get our own cultivation online, our 3rd big facility near the end of the year. That doubled our capacity. Also partnered with some best-in-class operators on a contract manufacturing basis to really expand our cultivation offering in a quick way as well. In the cannabis industry, the toughest thing is to ramp up your cultivation. It takes time, it takes effort. We're moving from 2 facilities at the end of 2020 to basically 13 by the end of this year. 13 different facilities, again, across the state of Michigan, boasting probably one of the largest cultivation footprints in the game, not only in Michigan, but in the U.S.
So when it comes to the contract manufacturing arrangements, two questions, I guess. The first one, is that typical for the industry? Do a lot of companies kind of process or proceed in that direction where you have growers coming, offering to grow the product for you? Question number two is, what are the benefits of that?
Yeah, no, it's not afforded to everybody. I think if you scan the U.S. cannabis landscape right now, take a look at what brands are actually able to do something like this, and it's frankly the top brands in the space. These are licensed producers in the Michigan market that came to Gage and wanted to grow Gage and Cookies branded product exclusively for us. And so it's not that easy to actually get that buy-in from the general market, let alone, technically your competitors in that same given market saying to themselves, I'm not even going to grow my own stuff anymore. I'm going to go to Gage. I want to partner with them. I want to grow exclusively for them. They sell for the highest price points. I think financially and for a variety of other intangibles, it's best to partner with them. And so that's a huge, kind of shot in the arm for us as a brand. Really gives us confidence that, in terms of what we're doing, and actually makes us thrilled to see that we have such a good, reception. And to get 10 different contract growers as well, it's just a phenomenal scenario as a brand, as you get to expand so quickly and in a capital light way. We don't pay for the CapEx. We're not paying for the OpEx. They're paying for my packaging, testing, and secure transporting. I'm basically getting my own product, my own flavors on the shelf for $0. I share in that retail price with them, basically getting 50+% gross margins, which is phenomenally better than I'll see on product that I have to purchase on a wholesale basis and put on my shelf. So it's a win-win for us, and it's a massive, massive win for the partners as well, as they, again, get some of the highest price points. They get to enjoy those high price points with us, and they get the intangibles of basically working for the best brand in the space in Michigan.
Fabian Monaco is CEO of Gage Growth Corporation. Currently seven retail locations in the state of Michigan. Big expansion plans coming on the retail side of things this year as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, no. So I think we're big on the retail. We're big on that particular part of the market. You see a lot of other cannabis names talk about their wholesale strategies. I don't think there's a lot of longevity in that type of strategy. It may work now when there's an undersupply in various markets, but as the market starts to, get larger, as there's more cultivation that comes online in some of these other markets outside of Michigan, the wholesale market is, again, not a strategy that we wanted to focus on. We're more retail centric. We have 7 retail stores open right now, and we're basically moving to 20 provisioning centers, which they call in Michigan, or dispensaries by the end of the year. We want to actually get 20 locations in our hand. We're on an aggressive spree when it comes to acquisitions. We have 12 so far. Again, 7 of them operational. We're trying to get to 20 by the end of this quarter in our hands, moving to having all 20 operational by the end of this year. And it just allows us to, again, control how our brand is received, control how, the new products and new flavors are received by the consumer, educate them why our brand is the best in business. And also, once they actually try the product, they know exactly what they're consuming and they feel good about it as well.
Now, different states, different countries around the globe, definitely in different stages of reopening as far as the pandemic is concerned. Tell us a little bit about how the pandemic has affected the retail industry specifically when it comes to the cannabis space.
Yeah, no. So initially, obviously, it was a huge win for the industry to actually see us get to the point where cannabis was considered an essential business. Massive win for us. Obviously, a little bit scary when COVID hit initially. A lot of uncertainty whether we would even be able to be operational. Luckily, we were able to be operational. Really honed in on our curbside pickup in a very quick way. In fact, all the numbers that you saw in 2020 post Q1 predominantly came from curbside pickup. Even today, some of the Q1 numbers, you'll see that all that again is from curbside pickup. You don't even have the ability to upsell. You don't even have the ability to kind of, even see the consumer face to face and give them, education on, some other products that you have in your dispensary. So the fact that, the way we're performing, the basket sizes that we had, $164 average basket size in 2020 with only curbside pickup, I think is again, a testament to the brand and a testament to how quickly we were able to, be nimble and implement a strategy in order to guard ourselves from some of the, potential downturns that you could have seen in COVID. Lucky for us, it was all positive.
And we all hope that we continue in that positive direction on the reopening side of things. Fabian Monaco, CEO of Gage Growth Corporation. A pleasure. It's an interesting time to be getting into this space. Definitely positive momentum south of the border in the cannabis industry. Good to talk to you today. We look forward to an update.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
There you go, guys. A look at Gage Growth Corporation, another new entrant into the cannabis space.
Thanks a lot, Brendan. And just as we go from there, we only have like 4 minutes left to go, so gonna try to do a bit of a recap here. RICE, I told you guys about that trade. We left you with it. I was going to average it, like I said, I was going to take it only on the way down if it broke that 15. I did get in, got some shares that we had from the 38s, the last of those out at 14.80. I had the tighter stop at 25 for the rest, so worked out of this position. Still showing a few signs of strength. I don't think we'll be done with this one. This is definitely, I don't want to say, I want to say with 100% certainty, but I would almost bet that I'm going to be trading some rice going into the close, especially if the volume starts to keep up here at 75 million. So this could be a name we revisit when you guys check back in with us at 3:15 for sure. I wish I had checked the actual leaderboard, but I'm not sure who's winning it. I can tell you the Bears are still winning on CCL, so that continues to resist. It continues to resist VWAP. I'm digging more shares into that sundial. I got like 95 halves, and I said if it would test that 96.50, we'd be adding positions. And you might catch me, like if it's not over $1, I'll probably be in a short, and if I'm not in a short, I'm trying to get a short below that buck. CCL, still hanging on to it off that low. If this market makes a second leg, I love this one through VWAP. I might have to add on a 28.40 break, Brendo.
All right, guys, a couple minutes to go here. Thanks once again to Fabian there from Gage Growth Corporation. As we mentioned, we are slowly but surely coming up to another earnings season. I think the market kind of maybe waiting for some earnings reports to get going again. Here is a look at aftermarket tonight and before the open tomorrow.
Yeah, Levi's recent IPO. I think that one has a chance to go. What was that? Just LEVI, I believe. I don't know. Oh, Jinko Solar. We know that one. JKS. There's a good opportunity there. The reason why we talk about Levi again, if you come over here, I'll show you the daily chart on Levi. We're approaching again. We're basically at, not approaching, all-time highs on Levi. So we'll wait to see if it can take out that 25.80. I guess it's really $26. So that's Levi Strauss coming through. That's the one we'll be looking at. And then, of course, JKS, Jinko Solar there. Let's see. I mean, it's been on a big run.
Interesting daily.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, all the way to the downside right now. So we'll have to watch out for Jinko. That was the big move. I mean, we know about that. That's election talk all the way to the upside. So watch out for Jinko taking out 37.
Yeah, that's a big time level if it does get taken out. You're gonna be on the short side of that trade if we get a bad number out of Jinko Solar. With about 90 seconds to go, there's one more thing before we get out of here. We go to Miss V. We find out what national day it is, and we make Neil hungry. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Let's go to Miss V.
Hey Neil, amazing news. We are 500 subscribers away from getting 200,000 of them. I'm sure we're gonna celebrate together tomorrow, drinking champagne, having fun. So guys, make sure to subscribe. Tell everyone to subscribe so we can get there as soon as possible. We will see you today at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and happy National Empanada Day, everyone.
Oh, Empanada Day.
All
right, I'll take some empanadas. Why not? Little bit of excitement there and spice in your life with some empanada. Yeah, unfortunately, obviously we didn't hit that today, but we will be popping champagne, I'm thinking, tomorrow. Join us. I'm just going to hit this one more time before we go. Only a minute left, but make sure, guys, 3:15 today. We're back live, the three of us coming back to you, and we'll trade the close. We'll see what Facebook wants to do, and I'm interested to see what Apple does. It's been a big day today. We're super excited. That was a fantastic interview, Brendan, as always, so very informative there. We're back tomorrow with a new show, 8:30, but we're back at 3:15. Make sure you join us then.
Yeah, you better believe it, guys. It should be a heck of a lot of fun. It's an active market in terms of the stocks, individual stocks that are moving, so continue to track all those that are on our watch list that you guys get for free every single day, and the ones Brendan brings to you, which he still does at the end of the day on that show. We condense a lot into that 45 minutes. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you enjoyed this show. Don't go too far, because you're going to get a chance to learn a little bit about Day Trade the World in an education course that they have coming right up at the end of this show. So you'll jump right into that. And then we're going to go right down the line. You know how we do it for Miss V in all black on a green day. For my man, John Katina. Sergio, come on, Sergio? I don't know. Brendan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you back at 3:15, guys.